Hello, all. This is Austin here of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. I want to put this intro here to apologize for the technical difficulties on this episode. Essentially, I travel a lot for work, and we have had many times in the past had to record episodes where I'm in a hotel. And normally this hasn't been an issue, but the hotel Wi-Fi we were on for this week's episode was really rough in the back half. And so, in fact, we couldn't even finish it. We tried to power through, but we had to finish it at a later date when I got back to my apartment. So, yeah, I just want to put this here up front and apologize for any sort of technical mishaps that you have to power through for this episode. Without further ado, here is episode 126. Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling. I can't believe we're here. I can't believe what we're about to watch. I don't have a joke here. It's just, oh my god, this is actually happening. And also, oh boy, the timing on this.
We'll get to that. I
Particular.
think.
We'll
I
get
think
to
we'll get
that.
to
Okay.
that. But
Oh,
I don't want to open with it. I want to
that's fair.
stick
I
it for
wasn't
its own
sure.
part.
I was giving you the option.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't want to start with that already. So I've watched every WrestleMania, up to 37. Actually, I don't think I ever watched WrestleMania 38. I wasn't watching WWE at the time, and I think I only tuned in just to watch Cody Rhodes' debut.
Ooh,
Because I heard about it, because
fair.
I was like, let's go, let's
I
fucking see it.
remember you tuned in specifically for that. Yeah,
Yeah, I tuned
I
in
remember
just
you
for
sent me the
that.
video.
Right. Um, but I have watched the other 38 WrestleManias up to the point of this recording.
Well, yes,
I
fair.
sadly have lost I had a Word document that ranked them all, and honestly, I've lost it. I lost it.
Oh,
I've switched. I've changed. I've changed computers twice since I did that document,
yeah.
and this
Something's
is
gonna get lost in
before. And
translation
this is
there.
before I started using Google Docs as my primary source. This is when I still mainly used Microsoft Word like a plebe. So
True.
like that so that ranking is lost to time. I'd have to rewatch all of them to redo it. But
Oh
I
wow,
remember
that would be
yeah, I don't know about that. But I remember coming to the conclusion that most manias are flawed experiences. Not necessarily
yeah.
all bad, but there's almost always like, oh god, this match is here situation. There's very few manias that I think are 100% all the way through consistently good manias. And the ones that are made my like top 3, top 5.
Yeah.
Which is to say that WrestleMania is in my top 3 of WrestleManias of all time.
Yes, fair.
WrestleMania, yeah, WrestleMania 30. I adored this show.
WrestleMania sex number, baby.
Yeah,
Of course, it's the good one.
I don't remember a ton of my viewing experience on this, but I can give some perspective what it was like watching this show as it aired. Which is to say that at the time, I'll open with that before we actually get into match stuff. Is talking about what it was like watching WrestleMania 30 at the time.
Please.
Because that show was, if you remember, that was the very first show that aired on the WWE Network. This was my freshman year of college.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This was my freshman year of college. Up to that point, and I've talked about it before on this podcast, especially during this arc, I had been going over to Buffalo Wild Wings. That I lived across. My dorm room was across the street. Yeah, my dorm building was across the street from a Buffalo Wild Wings. So I would go over there to watch WWE pay-per-views every month. That stopped when the network became a thing. Pretty much killed off that element of communal watching Still miss it to this day. Um,
Yeah.
but we have the network now, so I had it, but all my roommates hated wrestling. It
Yep.
was a
Except for
point of
Jonathan, because Jonathan was cool.
now Jonathan was second year though. He wasn't part
Oh,
of
I always forget that. Fuck. Okay.
yeah. My three first year roommates, they all didn't like wrestling. Now, one
Ooh.
of them was nicer about it. He came from the perspective of like, oh yeah, that's a thing. It was like that thing I watched as a kid and grew out of. So he asked
Yeah.
me questions like, hey, how's Rey Mysterio doing? How's Kane doing?
Oh,
Because he
based.
remembers those guys from when he was a kid. The other two, they did the classic thinks wrestling is dumb kind of shit. Like,
I'm well aware.
why do you watch this stuff? Why don't you just watch MMA? You know, thankfully I come from the base time of 2014, so like wrestling is gay, her was not really something have ever really received about wrestling. I've talked about it before, but I've never like that's a common like
Yeah.
thing that people say about wrestling. I never experienced that. It was always, why don't you watch real fighting?
The only times we get that is when we're saying it is a good thing. Wrestling is gay, and that's great.
Correct. Yes. Um so they and this is our dorm room. We only have one television. Um and even though it was my TV that we brought, we still had to share the thing. And
Yeah.
so I didn't get to watch WrestleMania 30 on the TV because
Boo.
so I had it pulled up on my laptop. And I don't know if you're aware of this, viewers, but college dormitory Wi-Fi can be spotty.
Oof.
Obviously, your mileage may vary, but on the 12th floor of Taylor Tower, no, the Wi-Fi kind
Oh,
of sucked.
buddy.
So
Buddy.
it was like I moved through. I started the night. I went to like the communal like study air room on the floor to try to watch it with my headphones in. Obviously, I am a respectful
Obviously.
person.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
and eventually I moseyed back to the dorm, um, and just watched it on our couch, just with my laptop in my lap. Uh,
Makes
Again,
sense.
I don't
Yeah.
remember a lot of observations about WrestleMania 30 from watching it. I do remember one. I talked about it, I think, on the very first episode of this podcast. Don't watch it. Don't go look it up. Um,
That's true.
but I will bring it up when we get to what we do. When we get to it in the show, I will remind us all of like the one reaction I remember, like what I was thinking, where I was, kind of a thing. But WrestleMania 30,
Yeah.
fantastic show. I loved it then. When I rewatched all the Manias, I was like, damn, this does hold up.
It seems like it would, and from
Yeah,
everything I've heard, right? Like,
right. So now that I've rambled on a little bit about because this arc, as many of our modern arcs are, come from a time when I was actively in the fandom, and I do actually
mhm.
have some kind of stories to tell about this
Yes, absolutely.
period of time. Uh, I think my
And
more, I
and
think
you
I
and
prefer.
you had been following like regular TV.
Yeah, yeah. I did commandeer my television to watch Raw on cable at this because we had cable in
Based.
our dorm. So I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I will be watching this on my TV every week. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I was watching the week to week show. Wasn't even pirating it. I didn't learn how to do that yet.
Hey,
Um,
yo ho, baby.
yo ho. Um, and then WrestleMania 30. We are here. We have followed this long arc. Um, and now we're here. And so if you're new to our wrestling or episodes where we watch pay-per-views, due to time constraints of our free time and ability
Ha.
to sit down and record together, We don't watch
Oh
full
God.
pay-per-views. We watch
Oh
most
God.
of them. My prep work is always to create a shorter cut of pay-per-views.
Yes.
And normally we try to do 2 hours, 2 hours of a 3-hour show. But
Yeah.
one problem, this is a 4-hour show, and also this could not possibly be cut up into 2 hours.
Correct. Correct.
The main 4 matches on this show, if you include pre-match and post-match stuff, take up 2 hours and 46 minutes of the show.
Oh
So,
wow.
no, this is a 3-hour version.
Oh boy. Who baby? Oh my.
And yet we will be watching 5 of the 8 matches five of the 7 matches on the main card.
Okay.
This is such a weird thing to think about. Is this WrestleMania, including the pre-show, had 8 matches. That is it.
I feel like that's not I feel like that's a pretty respectable sized card.
That's for WrestleMania, that's a very small number of matches.
I guess you're right. Although I'm also
I do
like
not
kinda,
want to. I don't want to go count all of them up to this point, but I'll
that's
tell
fair.
you, 8's on the lower end of match numbers, number of matches at Mania.
Interesting. Because like I'm thinking of like, there's the 2 night WrestleManias that obviously are filled to the motherfucking brim.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Interesting.
guess for one night shows, it's gone down to a respectable 7 to 8 matches, but that's for one. That's also across like 2
That's
nights
also
each
across.
of
Yeah.
7 to 8
So
matches.
yeah.
This one night Manias usually had at least 10. I think more of them had at least double digits than didn't for
Fuck.
single night Manias. And
Well, even in
obviously,
like the
once they
early
hit the
days.
network, yes, they would, especially early Manias. Early Manias packed to the brim with matches, especially because most of them were sub 5 minutes.
Yeah, I
And
was about to
then,
say that a lot of those are
right, a
like
lot of
5.
them also had really shitty matches. And then I think it started to lessen as like it was like what if we put good matches on pay-per-view? Crazy thought. And so the card shrunk a little bit, and then they kind of have ballooned back a little bit. They're usually more than 8, and obviously once the network was off and running, WWE was like, wait, we can make these shows however long we want. And oh no. I
Oh,
will
no.
card count for that. Number of matches at WrestleMania once they hit in the network era. All right. WrestleMania 30 has 8 matches. WrestleMania 31 has, and these are including the pre-show, 9 matches.
Oh,
WrestleMania 32 had 12 matches.
Line go up.
WrestleMania 33 had 13 matches.
Oh my God.
WrestleMania 34 had 14 matches.
Oh my, no way. No,
WrestleMania
no,
35 had 16 matches.
no shot. How?
Now, and then, now we're getting into the COVID years. They're starting to do more than one night of Mania. So keep that in mind for the words I say next, right?
Yes.
WrestleMania 36 across 2 shows had 18 matches.
Okay.
WrestleMania 37. WrestleMania 37 across 2 shows had 14 matches. WrestleMania 38 across 2 shows had 16 matches. WrestleMania 39 across 2 shows had 15 matches.
That's not.
So on a per night basis, it's gotten a lot better. But
yeah, I can get down with that for like multi-night Manias.
The 31 to 35 line go up.
Like consistently, it just keeps fucking building. until we hit the COVID years. But still,
WrestleMania 35 was like 6 hours long. It was a miserable nightmare.
oh wow, yeah, I think you've told me about that one, and that one being like a rough watch.
It is. A lot of people, like, it's been commonly said that, like, Becky Lynch's main event win was kind of dampened by the fact that the crowd was fucking dead from
Crowd was
6
exhausted.
hours.
Yeah, fucking Jesus.
Like this,
That's
they
a
kind of
lot.
emotionally, the crowd kind of emotionally peaks at Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan in the middle of the show. And
Oh, wow.
then, like,
Fuck
they kind of pick back up and spit in spots later on, but the last 6 matches of the show, it's like the peak has been hit. It's all downhill from here, really.
Okay, yeah, that oh wow, that's a lot of WrestleMania.
It is.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Fuck.
but this
Okay.
WrestleMania show had 1 pre-show match and 7 matches on the main card. That's all.
Respectable.
So let's go through those matches and which ones we will and will not be watching. The first match of the show on the pre-show, in fact, I'll just go ahead and say what happens because I don't even know how we would watch the pre-show. I don't know where it is on Peacock, actually. Was a fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The Usos defeated Los Matadors, the Real Americans, and Rybaxel.
Usos remain.
Yep, that's it.
Did the True Americans get any closer to breaking up?
Not really.
Wow! Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
Oh no, my bad. I forgot. Okay, after the match, Swagger put Cesaro in the ankle lock.
Okay.
And
Wait.
then Coulter was like, "It's still good. It's still good. We can put a little tape on it." And Cesaro gave Jack Swagger the big swing and fucked off without him. So
Yes. All right. Sweet. I mean, sucks for what Cesaro then went on to do, which is nothing. But
which is a whole big bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
So the first match on the show that we will of course be watching, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, and the winner will be added to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match later in the show. The feud hasn't. I really have light things to say here because we talked about how last time there were 2 weeks before Mania, and the last 2 weeks before Mania don't really progress much. It's a lot of wheel spinning.
As they are wont to do.
They do take the time. Daniel Bryan doesn't appear on the shows again until like the very end of the go home show of Raw. They really sell the idea that like he is hurt by the beatdown. So they do give this an opportunity to kind of continue to have the Evolution guys cut promos on each other, kind of get better establish the heat between the 3 of them. Without Daniel there. But other than that, it's not anything like new to the story that I feel like we got to talk about.
It's just look at how powerful we are. The Evolution, that's the group.
Yeah, Evolution.
The Evolution reigns supreme. Nobody can can climb this mountain. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty standard
right.
stuff.
Then the next match on the show, first one we will not be watching, a 6-man tag team match between Kane and the New Age Outlaws and the Shield. Kane. We already kind of hit the beat here to this.
Yo, that's actually really funny. Like they've been setting up NAO as the corporate stooges, and so in lieu of the Shield, that's who Kane gets to do contract work for him.
Yep. Yeah,
that's
so it's
hilarious.
The Shield getting to beat up at the Attitude Era. That's
I see. It's symbolism.
Correct. Then the next match on the show, the one that we will be watching, I deliberated a lot here because the intro to the show has a big promo bit that arguably is more iconic than the Andre match,
Okay.
but it's also a whole lot. It's time filling fluff.
Okay.
But I debate it's a big moment, and I will watch it and talk about it and probably take decent notes on this one in particular. I don't usually take good notes on the parts that only I watch, but I might take good notes on this one just because it is a big important moment of the show.
Okay.
But I decided in the end, let's do another match.
I'm here for it. Especially if
Um,
it's the Andre Battle Royale.
Yep. They've been building Big Show up big as like
Big
a real
style.
contender in this match. Like
Ah.
he's squashing dudes on Raw. There was a Piper's Pit segment devoted solely to piping the Andre match, and at the end of it, Roddy Piper raised Big Show's hand. You know, they're selling you that like the Big Show is the man to beat in the match.
I see. And then whoops a doodle, motherfucker's gonna get thrown out first because everyone's watched how to beat Andre. Everybody knows the meta.
Mm-hmm. Then the fifth match on the show, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. And so, at time of recording here, we are about a week past the sudden and tragic death of Bray Wyatt. We found out last week that he passed away due to basically post-COVID complications. The understanding is that basically he had heart issues in the past, clearly manageable if he can be a wrestler.
Yes.
But he got COVID. They exacerbated his heart problems. He kind of just barely made it past COVID. He was apparently on the road to recovery and almost ready to get back in the ring, get back in there. And then he had a heart attack. He died in his sleep when he went to take a nap, and he never woke up. And so it's been hard, and I'm sure it'll be hard to watch this match. I didn't watch any of the tribute episodes of WWE because I'm not watching WWE right now, but heard it's very heartfelt. It was all very heartfelt.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
poor Eric Rowan, man.
Yeah, he's had to do 2 of these in like 3 years.
I know.
Huge heartfelt outpouring of support for this guy. And I mean, like, it was hard listening to our last episode about this, as we like talked about how like one day Bray Wyatt's just going to go make the horror movies he clearly wants to go make. And we're definitely going to be there watching it and supporting it because the guy's a genius. And
fuck, I forgot we said that. Oh no.
Yeah. It's like
dude.
Rarely I don't think wrestling has ever seen a creative mind quite like Bray's.
Correct.
Like the kind of stuff, character work, and storylines he was trying to do. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But they were definitely unique to wrestling. Like wrestling has never really seen characters and storylines like what he was trying to do with Bray Wyatt, and then the Fiend, and then he Uncle Howdy all over himself, and it was like, well, all this for a glow in the dark match sponsored by Mountain Dew.
The potential Wyatt 6,
Right. Like truly a great creative mind with a lot to give. Still, I think.
Yeah.
It feels like WWE never fully hit his potential. They got close sometimes with Bray Wyatt, the Swamp Cult man.
Yes.
And
he was definitely the closest. Yeah.
Fiend before he beat Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell before Seth Rollins beat the Fiend in Hell in a Cell because the ref stopped the match for being too violent. before that, The Fiend as well, like the early Firefly Funhouse and that first entrance with The Fiend coming out with like a lantern of Bray Wyatt's head.
Yes.
As
Oh,
the
that's so
lantern.
good. That's so good.
And even the early stuff since the young, he lost his plot in his last LA Knight
The
feud.
LA Knight thing.
But
like
that like the re-debut stuff with the QR codes and shit.
Yeah.
Like there he is again, just coming
That
up
was
with these
brilliant.
ideas that just wrestling has never really seen before.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're ever gonna like reveal like what the shit with like Undertaker whispering in his ear was gonna be like. Um, there is so much he sits at such an interesting point in wrestling history because he is so clearly the spiritual descendant of wrestlers that came before him. Kane and Undertaker, a little bit of Mick Foley in there.
His character is a
I
send
can't.
up of Waylon Mercy from the 90s. Like Waylon Mercy was doing a very similar like culty gimmick, and he had the same like
Interesting.
Hawaiian shirt get up.
Oh, fascinating. Okay. So yeah, but then of course it evolved. He took it to like this. He was like, I'm creating consistent lore, which even fucking Taker and Kane never got. Um, he evolved on the formula, and yeah, it had its ups and downs, but fuck, I appreciate so much what he was trying to do. And that's something I was saying even before he passed. Like, even when people were like, you know, like I get that he was losing the plot on the Uncle Howdy thing, but I was always interested to see what was coming next because I was like, okay, I appreciate what he's going for here.
Absolutely. Clearly what Undertaker whispered in his ear was, I'm never putting you over, boy.
Oh, yeah, well, probably.
He lost like 3 times to the Undertaker on
Oh my
pay-per-view.
god. Jesus. What the that's awful.
The absolute worst was, I think, at Survivor Series, it was Kane and Undertaker's old asses against the entirety of the Wyatt family, and the Brothers of Destruction won.
Go fuck yourself. Like, that's okay to do to, like, kick off a feud, but, like, fuck me, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, you ain't going over, boy.
I hate that.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So this, I think, this is our first episode of doing wrestling since Bray Wyatt's passing. We didn't really touch on it. It happened before we finished recording the Glow episode.
Yeah, but that's not.
That was
not really the place to talk about it. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's kind of appropriate. I think we were kind of touching, except for this is maybe Bray's finest moment. It certainly is of the Swamp Cult gimmick. Is right here, right now, against John Cena for his legacy.
Yeah, and also like shout out to Bray running 2 really successful Cena feuds because I've heard nothing but good things about the Firefly Funhouse match with Cena.
Yeah, like the feud was a whole lot of nothing, and I think you can blame a lot of that to COVID weirdness at the time.
Well,
like it didn't have a chance to really. It didn't really have a chance to begin being a feud before. Oops, COVID. But the Firefly Funhouse match is truly a one of a kind artistic brilliance within the wrestling history.
Okay, so we definitely need to cover that at some point.
We should watch just the Firefly Funhouse match. Not even anything else from WrestleMania 36 Night 2. Just the Funhouse match.
Yes, correct.
Rest of that show is pretty forgettable anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of want to do a whole arc devoted to like the cinematic matches of COVID.
Oh shit, that'd be interesting.
like the WrestleMania 36 ones, like the Boneyard match in the Firefly Funhouse. You have
Mm.
Stadium Stampede. You have
The
the
giant
Money in the Bank,
MITV, right?
Money in
Yeah.
the Bank at the corporate Money in the Bank. You got
Yes.
you have the Control Your Narrative match in Impact.
The what?
Like EC3 does like a CYN match against Moose in
Oh
Impact.
Lord. Oh
You got
no.
NXT had a parking lot brawl. Like there was a lot.
Oh, ooh. I do
They
love
were.
some parking lot
It
brawl
would be
shit.
the Dr. Britt Baker and Big Swole fighting at the dentist's office that was on pay-per-view.
Oh wow, that sounds fucked up.
Yeah, it was a fun ass match. I don't think you could ever do it again because I feel like they did all the jokes you could do for a match set in the dentist's office. But I
Yeah.
tell you what, Big Swole showing up to Britt Baker's dental practice to throw hands was amazing.
That's actually incredible.
Mhm.
I would love to see that just for like the what the fuck of it all. That's like
Yeah,
fucking Booker and Stone Cold in the grocery store, okay? Like
which we got to do
that's
that
like
episode too, honestly.
these are the people in your neighborhood and they
Mhm.
want to fight anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, this match we talked, it's, again, nothing new to this feud. Bray Wyatt has continued to kind of be cryptic and weird, but he's not really
Yes.
saying anything new or interesting that we haven't already discussed. Like we already hit
Yeah.
the cool beats to this feud.
Correct.
And they did do a bit where John Cena was fighting Luke Harper and he had him beat, and then the lights went out, and when the lights came up, John Cena was downed and he had the sheep mask on him, like
Okay,
spooky
that's
spooky
cool.
bullshit.
That's actually cool.
Other than that, nothing to really report about that feud.
I love that. I
Yep.
actually love that.
Then the next match on the card that we will also be watching, The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
Of
The
course.
streak is on the line. 21-0. Will it
This is
become
gonna be so
22-0?
fucked up. This is gonna be so fucked up.
Mm-hmm. And you want to talk about a match that takes time. The timestamp, if you include everything from the before the match to everything after the match, this match takes up 51 minutes.
Whoo, baby. I know Undertaker liked to have some big boy matches toward the back end of his career, but like,
He did.
oh wow, oh baby Jesus.
Yeah, they've had a few physical confrontations since then, Undertaker and Brock, but
so wild. Is that?
yeah.
But that's not bell to bell time. That is full in total.
That is like the pre-match video, and then the entrances, and then the match, and then the post-match.
And
Because
then
as you can
to be
guess,
fair, the
there's a
post
lot
match is
of
probably gonna take
post-match.
I was gonna say the post match is probably gonna take a solid 15 fucking minutes.
It does. It does take a long fucking time.
Yeah. Well, again, we know the punchline here.
Honestly, if you want to skim through that part, I don't blame you.
I will be interested to see whether or not I like have things to say about like the Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, then the next match on the show, one that actually was made we're not going to watch it, but this match was actually made since our last episode. It was the last match made for Mania. The Vicky Guerrero Invitational match for the Divas Championship.
The what?
Basically, they sell the idea. The idea is that AJ Lee, who, by the way, in the last 2 weeks of Raw, has lost twice to Naomi. So mark yourselves down on the continued Total Divas versus non-Total Divas tally marks from last time. There's 2 more in the win column for the Total Divas.
Wonder why. It sure is a coincidence they have a really successful reality show.
Yeah, but they're playing this up as basically like all of AJ's sins coming back to haunt her.
Okay.
as she is feuded with Vicky. In Vicky's words, she got AJ fired and stole her boyfriend, which is correct. That is what happened.
What?
When AJ Lee became the general manager of Raw, this got Vicky fired. And her boyfriend, like Vicky Guerrero, was always covertly kind of had Dolph Ziggler as her boyfriend. Like that was part of their dynamic.
Well, I didn't realize he was actually her boyfriend. I just assumed it was
no. This is
she
all
was
kayfabe.
super into him.
This is kayfabe.
Yeah, I know, but in kayfabe, I thought it was just
in kayfabe, Dolph Ziggler was fucking the boss.
Oh wow!
Okay. And was not ashamed of that at all.
I didn't know AJ swooped in on Dolph. I know there's other shenanigans with like AJ and IRL boyfriends, but that's a whole other thing.
But yeah, so this match is AJ Lee defending her title against Oksana, Alicia Fox, Brie Bella, Cameron, Emma, Eva Marie, Layla, Naomi, Natalya, Nikki Bella, Rosa Mendez, Summer Rae, and Tamina.
Hey, nobody Mina. Oh, she's so fucked.
Yeah, AJ is defending the belt against the entire women's division.
AJ versus the world.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, fuck, even the stupid Divas shit seems like it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's honestly, it was kind of the perfect match to put after the streak. It serves as the buffer match between the streak and the main event, and this show needed something like it.
Yeah.
All right, and then the main event, Batista versus Randy Orton versus the winner of the opener in a three-way match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Who's it gonna be?
Can't imagine. Cannot guess who's gonna win the opening match.
Somebody asked me to guess the outcome of this match, and I say,
And I said that's impossible.
Said no.
Yeah, I'm for the sake, I'm being nice and not just saying it. But if you follow the story, you know how this is going to go.
Yes, there's a clear, trajectory to all of this.
Mm-hmm. So that is the card for WrestleMania 30. If you would like to watch along with us, you can do so at Peacock, NBC Universal streaming service, and where WWE licenses out all of their content for $1 billion jillion. We're here. This is the seventh episode of our podcast devoted to this arc. The longest we've ever done on this show.
Ever.
This is probably as long as it will ever be. I can't imagine doing an arc longer than 7 episodes. I told you we could do that. We could do that to watch all of the WCW 2000 pay-per-views. I did throw that out there.
No.
Yeah, I guess.
No.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, we are at the end of our arc here. And in the back half, we'll be back to discuss WrestleMania 30.
Oh wow.
And we are back. We have finished WrestleMania 30.
So much wrestling. Much wrestling.
David actually watched the full thing, and he didn't have to. Only I was gonna.
I did not watch the full thing. I didn't watch the Vicky Invitational. Didn't watch the Kane match. I didn't give a shit.
Okay.
I just watched that extra beginning segment.
Okay. You watched the promo. Got it.
Yes, correct.
I watched the full thing then, and yeah, definitely reminded why I was like, this is one of the best WrestleManias ever.
Oh, 100%.
Loved it. Great, fantastic show all the way through.
Absolutely. I concur.
Even on what is, I think, my third time through this show now.
It was a spectacular experience. It was just like, I watched this the day after All Out, so I'm just like, so much wrestling.
Yeah, so have I. I also watched this the day after I watched All Out. So
Yeah. I was like, at the end, I was like, all right, 15 more minutes. Let's go, baby. Come on.
next week is going to be so much easier. It's only an hour.
Bless the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's time for WrestleMania sex number. Woo!
Yay, baby, let's celebrate. Rock the whole night away.
Yeah, we're in Mardi. We're in New Orleans around Mardi Gras.
They're
The
doing
whitest
they got a
pro
Mardi Gras
wrestling
intro.
company. Oh yeah, no, the whitest pro wrestling company ever being heralded by like a POC led Mardi Gras parade. That was hilarious.
It's the whitest Mardi Gras parade that has ever happened.
I know. They have like a black band, and then just the superstars flood it, and it's like, wow. Oh man, the color just shifted massively.
Mm-hmm.
I did dig that opening package though. It was a
Yeah.
ton of fun. Like, yeah, you have basically all the superstars marching in a Mardi Gras parade. Those are this really cute thing where like they green screen in like old like big moments from the company
Mm-hmm.
into the parade. Like you have Andre standing there with Bobby Heenan. You had something with Stone Cold. So that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Also,
So
Eric Rowan. You can see Eric Rowan still wearing his sheep mask.
Oh yeah,
like,
the sheep mask in the Mardi Gras parade.
In the Mardi Gras parade, you know. Absolutely.
Where following the parade.
Absolutely.
But we open WrestleMania with the Hulkster brother. Who else could we open this show with, dude? The most important guy in the history of WrestleMania, brother.
The most important man ever, some might say. I wouldn't, but
that's
some
true,
would.
dude. So the Hulkster, he comes down to the ring. He's hot dogging already.
Man, can you explain to me how Hulk Hogan's sunglasses simultaneously look like they cost $200, but also $2?
It's an impressive aesthetic choice.
You know what you see what I'm talking about, right? Like,
yeah,
it's simultaneously.
It's like what's the big cable? What's the big sunglasses company?
Ray-Bans.
They look like they're Ray-Bans, but then they also have like this shitty plastic outline that makes it look
and they're fucking
touristy.
like they're yellow as all. It looks like you got them off like the child's rack at like Walmart.
Yep.
Anyway,
he immediately is like, "Well, let me tell you something, brother."
And he like immediately turns his head for the pop. He's like, "Oh, that's a pop."
I hit that
acting surprise over the pop. Okay.
And then Hulk Hogan immediately botches himself here as he's like, I want to welcome everyone here at the Silver Dome to WrestleMania 30. And as a reminder, they're in the Superdome in New Orleans. The Silver Dome is where WrestleMania 3 was.
Which you can watch on WWE pay-per-view or on the WWFE network.
Yep. So he keeps going, just doing his regular bit, and then he calls it the Silver Dome again. And then
Michael Cole's over here on commentary being like, "This geriatric fuck."
Yeah, the commentary is making fun of him. Hogan stops mid-sentence and realizes what he did.
Well, because the crowd is chanting Superdome at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brothers. It's just I was just thinking about body slamming Andre the Giant, dude.
Yeah. Now that I've stood corrected by all my Hulkamaniacs, I'm gonna bury all these motherfuckers. The Hulkster is always right, brother.
Hulkster's going over, dude. That's how this is gonna work, brother. That's what this is all about, brother. 30 years of WrestleMania moments, and tonight. Well, I'm gonna stop before I continue on. I don't remember when WWE started doing WrestleMania moments as like.
Oh, is that like a thing?
It is now. I don't remember when it started, and it started initially. But moments.
Oh, really? That makes sense.
Is a thing now, very annoying and inorganic, as you'd expect. But anyway,
it's not great.
So tonight we'll have more special WrestleMania moments.
Yeah,
Stone
the glass
Cold.
shatters. Oh yeah, woo!
Stone Cold Steve Austin is here.
Stone Cold comes out. He hops on a
JBL is
mic and
like,
just starts. He's like, JBL. What's JBL saying?
connections. Oh my God! Go!
I hear you.
Fix this
Are you here?
connection. I think. Are we good now?
I hear you, brother. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I've heard you the whole time.
Cutting you out. My connection was cutting you out.
Oh well, that's unfortunate. Anyway,
there's no way I'm going to be able to fix this in post. Anyway, JBL is like, this is a dream come true, and I'm like, JBL, I guarantee these two have been in the ring together. In fact, I have another bit about this later.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
in a match, but they've, because they didn't want, because Stone Cold didn't want to put over Hogan, so they didn't have a match.
Hogan didn't want to put over Stone Cold, brother. Stone Cold fucking comes out and he's like,
if you're ready for WrestleMania 30, give me a hell yeah. I'm excited to be back here in the Silver Dome.
Yeah.
And then Stone Cold says, normally gets in the whoop ass on whoever's in the ring with him. Me, to open a can of whoop ass on the immortal Hulk Hogan. Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah, the crowd of course says hell yeah, and then Stone Cold basically is like, actually psyched.
And then he says,
yeah.
And then Stone Cold's like, instead, I'm gonna suck off Hulk Hogan. As
I'm gonna list every single WrestleMania ever.
Yeah, he does his bit where he gets the what, he makes a list and then gets what chance for it. Because he's like, at WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan was at WrestleMania 1, what? WrestleMania 2, what? WrestleMania 3, what?
He keeps going. He goes up to fucking WrestleMania 10. Why?
Which Hogan wasn't at.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he only was up to 9.
Stone Cold, you fucking dumbass.
Austin says he has nothing but respect for Hogan, and he wants to show his appreciation he's done in this business.
And Hulk Hogan, of course, Hogan is like, Hogan gets on mic.
Yeah. Like, somebody Stone Cold Steve Austin a hell yeah.
Well, yeah, we got to give him a hell yeah for putting Hogan over, brother.
So Austin is like, he said he'd love to flap his gums, but he wants the boys in the back to come out here. He wants the current regime to come out here, put everything they got in the ring, just like they did.
Yeah, I love that he uses the word regime, the current regime of WWE superstars, to give it their all for your asses, not for any other parts of your body though.
Yeah,
just
and
your
then
asses.
If you're some man,
yeah, Rock is here too, I guess. We have formed.
Johnson is here.
Yeah, we are forming the Mount Rushmore of sports entertainment live on the stage. I think that was a JBL line. And like, honestly, yeah, you add Cena on there, you get like the Mount Rushmore of WWE. Mm-hmm. Like that is kind of like the 4 pillars, as it were.
I had a couple more notes making fun of commentary acting like this is like, what a moment, when this is like 2002. Yeah. All 3 of these dudes squared up at some point in 2002.
Yeah. He mentions that anyway.
Yeah, so Rock goes in and hugs both men, and he's like, it is a true WrestleMania moment when all 5 of your senses are on fire. You can hear it from these people. You can see them. You can feel it. You can taste it. You can definitely smell it. Finally, The Rock has come back.
Yeah, apparently that's a pop line because people were like reciting along with it.
Yeah, him doing "Finally, The Rock has come back to blah blah blah." Where?
Well, shit. Yeah, damn. See, the noob. I still have so much to learn. The Rock
not
has come
seen a
back.
lot. We haven't seen a lot of prime Rock on this show.
Yeah,
We've watched a decent amount of
post-Crisis
Nation
Rock.
era Rock, but like
Yeah.
that.
I think the most we've gotten
turn,
out of like post-Crisis Rock is fucking the Christmas episode we did.
yeah,
with Rob.
that one Christmas episode.
Yeah,
We'll
and
have to keep
that
we'll
was
have to keep
so
that in mind.
filled to the brim with fucking pop lines. I couldn't even remember what half of them are.
Sure. I'll have to keep that in mind going forward.
Hell yeah.
That is a missing gap in the programming so far. Anyway, after The Rock does his bit, I write Jerry and JBL being lame as usual because they're like, let's get a Superdome chant going. Hashtag Superdome. I'm like,
Dwayne makes sure to like very pointedly call it the Superdome, and Hulk is like, this guy, he's so mad. You know that Hogan is fucking fuming over this just beneath the surface. You can tell he's gonna go back and politic against all these jabronis for making fun of him.
Yeah. The Rock is like, and I see it when I look at this ring, I don't see the greatest of all time or blah, blah, blah. I see my best friend, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and my childhood hero, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And
he mentions that he and Hogan have fought at Mania? Question mark?
They did at WrestleMania 18.
Really?
Hogan and The Rock had a match. It overshadowed the fuck out of the main event of that show. Which was
Wait, it wasn't the main event?
No, because it wasn't for the title. So they put the title match on last, which was Chris Jericho versus Triple H. And
I mean, good match, but also what the fuck?
You know, the headliner was Austin Rock.
100%.
But Rock is like, he's headline manias with both men. They've had an incredible impact on not just his career, but the men and women in the locker room. And I actually did really like this part. The Rock goes, a man is going to come out here and fight in the name of hustle, loyalty, and respect. Boo!
Boo!
Fuck you.
Yeah.
But that
wonder who he's putting over there.
Yeah. But that man doesn't do that unless someone vows to say his prayers and eat his vitamins, brother.
Sure.
And tonight, a man is going to come out to rise against the authority. Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
Ah!
Yes.
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 Woo!
But that doesn't happen unless a certain bald-headed SOB had the guts to not only cross the boss, but whip his candy ass.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then The Rock kind of ruins it with the next part.
This is my favorite part of this fucking promo.
I was just like, oh god, this is absolutely 2014 Rock humor. 2010's return Rock humor. This is right here. He's like, those are facts. And here's another fact. You ever wonder why so many WWE fans have birthdays exactly 9 months after WrestleMania?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson is crediting his sheer sexual charisma for like his own personal WrestleMania baby boom. What the fuck?
Now, I wish I had written down. There's no way I could have written down.
He basically says like he fights with so much passion that mom and dad are on the couch deciding they should share some passion of their own. Maybe
and make some Rock babies.
WrestleMania babies. Yeah. Yeah. And the crowd loses their minds for that. I thought that was fucking hilarious in a deeply unhinged sort of way.
It was very insane to just have this be part of the promo here.
Oh shit! I have a January birthday. Well, oh no,
you're safe.
No.
I have a December birthday, so I'm
it's in April. It's in early April. 9 months after April is January.
Yeah, but your parents don't watch wrestling.
Well,
that's different.
Not as far as I know, anyway, brother.
Anyway, The Rock is just like, it's an honor to be in the ring with you two in front of all these people. And he has a match. And then Stone Cold is like, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
Yeah, except he's like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
And then Hulk Hogan's like, so what you gonna do when blah, blah, blah runs wild?
It gets longer every time. kind of like it.
Stone Cold gets the beers, the
Oh,
Steve Weisers.
someone is fucking chucking beers at Austin from outside.
Yeah, that's always how that's worked.
Yeah, but
That's
like
been happening for years.
But like, it's the first time I've noticed it. It's like expert precision. Like, just
Yeah, it's just like this dude who just tosses beers at Stone Cold.
that's his one job in the company is to toss.
That's his
beers
one
to
job, is
people.
toss the beers.
Yeah. Every time Austin's about to make a return, they call him up and they're like, "Gary, we have a very important job for you, brother.
We got another job for you, son.
Yeah.
It's time to toss the beers again."
He's got like a red hotline phone, like in a fucking like superhero movie.
Yeah, he's got phone, but for tossing Stone Cold's beers.
Absolutely, it's shaped like Stone Cold's head. It's a whole thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
they get
and then Austin passes them out.
Mm-hmm. They chug the beers. It's
okay. Chug is a
okay. Stone Cold
term.
does. Stone Cold.
Okay, even then, maybe a tablespoon each actually makes it in their respective mouths. Most of it just goes all over their fronts. Like not much beer actually gets in the mouth. They're all drenched by the time this whole shebang is done.
Yeah. But then
and it cuts to the announce team cheersing with their shitty ass diet Mountain Dew. Like, we got drinks of our own, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, it's
buddy.
time for the goated WrestleMania promo video. Fuck you. Fuck you my way. This is better. Fuck you.
I will agree with that.
It's time for the Daniel Bryan monster video.
Oh my
Set
God.
to Monster by Imagine Dragons.
Which I immediately added to my playlist I want to add.
It's actually a good song. But it does this, it's this cool, the video is so structured, so cool. They do the first verse of the song and the first chorus shows older highlights of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, like ROH era.
So you see some ROH clips. We see him in NXT when his thing in the NXT when it was a game show was that his mentor was the Miz, and they're like, yeah, I mean, you've been on the Indies, but where's your personality? Where's your charisma?
Oh my God. Yeah, like there's a running theme here of like putting DB down for every way he does not fit the mold.
Right, but then he overcomes and he perseveres through his early parts of his career. And then right after the first chorus, they cut the song out and we get all the promo videos of Triple H being like, "You're a B+ player, Daniel. That's a good little spot for you." And Stephanie be like, "You're 5'8".
Too, yeah.
We run. I feel like I picked all these episodes, the episodes for these arcs.
Yeah.
Just watching the promo video and getting the ones where they say the lines.
Absolutely. No, every single one of these was like, I saw that clip. Clip. I think the only one I didn't see was, I don't think we saw the one where Stephanie's going like, "You're maybe what, 5'8", 200 pounds," which I just thought that was just funny. Shade comes from reading. Anyway.
Yeah. And then the song cuts back in when Daniel starts doing his promos about like, you can't stand seeing people like me succeed. These people want to see someone like me succeed. And the only way that's going to happen is if I beat the crap out of you. And then like, as he gets beaten down, they'd show the bits from like when he gets beaten down with handcuffed. And then once the song kicks back in, they show highlights of Daniel fighting again. It's just super cool video. It's hype as fuck.
Way it runs, like the evolution, it's really satisfying too, because like there is a very distinct physical transformation for Daniel Bryan over the years. Like he goes from like, super short hair, super scrawny, no beard, to like kind of the, the rugged caveman look that he's rocking in 2014. So like seeing that kind of evolve as time goes on too, it's a great physical representation of what's going on. Yeah, insanely tremendous video package. And it once again, just one last time makes me question, how the fuck was this story not the plan from the goddamn beginning?
This was they had such a layup, and it took them forever to hit the layup.
And multiple show hijackings for them to get the fucking message.
Like they had it and they almost were ready to just give it away.
I know. I know. Like, the audience had to put in so much fucking work here for Vince to be like, oh, maybe this is a profitable idea. And then they actually went through with it. But holy shit, it was the biggest narrative layup in history, and I can't believe they almost whiffed it. Oh
Yep.
boy. All right, but
But
yes,
that because the first match of the show is Triple H
Stephanie is
versus
out here in her
Daniel
best
Bryan.
sexy founding father cosplay.
I
And
was thinking Zatara.
I mean,
The fucking match.
that too. But like, I need a little bit more like coat tails and top
Yeah,
hat.
for
Like,
context, she is in like her business suit top, but she's also in
kinda?
like
Yeah.
short shorts.
Short shorts. She's got like a black ruff choker.
Right.
Her sleeves are poofy on the end and stick out from underneath her suit jacket. Again, decent amount of décolletage. Like I said, sexy founding father, and she is here
Yeah.
to introduce her equally sexy husband, Jesus.
The most powerful man in WWE.
Okay.
Triple
They
H.
call him. I really want to drive this home. One of
Yeah.
Triple H's nicknames is the King of Kings. That's what Jesus is called. Why are they? Why is he Jesus?
We settled this in '98. Remember, they had a whole match about who was the best King of the Ring winner, the King of Kings, you may say.
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, so wrestling Jesus is here on his.
I got a YouTube meme to send to you now that you're on this bit about King of Kings.
Yeah. Oh, I look forward to seeing it. I also no, Triple H's entrance is fucking awesome. He's got his full like skull crown get up. He's on like this badass metal throne. Scantily clad women surround him.
Do you know who those three women are?
Well, I assume it's part of Stephanie and Triple H's polycule, but I'd love to be enlightened further.
Okay, I'm kayfabe. It can be anything, really.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying is Stephanie's over here totally okay with watching these scantily clad women undress her husband. Clearly, they're gonna go have fun afterward.
I'll give you a hint and see if you can work your way out from there. These three women are in NXT.
No.
Yeah, so
you're not about to tell me these are the fucking horsewomen. You are not about to tell me that.
Two of them are.
It's
Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss.
What the fuck?
Alexa was the short blonde girl in the front. I'm surprised you couldn't tell that was her.
I wasn't paying attention.
Charlotte was the taller woman on Triple H's left, and Sasha was the one hanging out kind of at the back.
I wasn't paying attention to the faces. I just assumed, it's female NPCs 1, 2, and 3. So I didn't really like.
Effectively, they were, but yeah, that's
effectively
Sasha,
they were.
Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair getting a NPC spot on Mania as the sexy servant girls for God King Triple H.
King Triple H. Oh wow, that's bizarre. Okay, well that's wild to fucking know. The places the developmental talent shows up.
Yeah, my note for this entrance was, this is cool, but also the most midlife crisis thing ever seen in wrestling.
That is a really good observation from you. Because yes,
but also overcompensating doesn't even cover it.
Doesn't begin to. He has the most extravagant entrance of the night, bar fucking none. Oh my god. Yeah. So the arena is doused in DX green as he approaches very slowly. A running theme of entrances tonight.
I mean, it's a long ramp.
It is a long ramp, so that doesn't help either. It's a long way to that ring. They're taking it the long way. There was this great shot. He gets to the edge of the ring. Stephanie's standing there. She looks down at him. He looks up at her, and he's got kind of this stoic look on his face. But you can just see the corner of his mouth slightly turn up in this smug fucking smirk. Oh my god, it was a great moment. He does the water spit, gets in the ring, hoopla. And then in stark contrast, Daniel Bryan's music hits, and he just comes out and just comes to the ring like doing his normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have to say, there is something beautifully symbolic about like Triple H getting this like giant, over the top, fucking production design ass entrance, and then Daniel Bryan like coming and just doing his thing like normal. There's something poetic there, I think.
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler declares that WrestleMania has become Yeselmania. Shut up, Lawler. Um, even if I support the message, no, terrible.
Stop.
And also, Cole echoes my sentiment from a second ago, but takes it super far in being like, yeah, Daniel Bryan's like the blue collar proletariat. Like, okay, let's not get like too lost in the sauce here. I know Vince is in your ear wanting you to do like class-based pandering, but like come on now, Jesus.
I wish someone had been in JBL's ear and told him to not, in fact, make so many animal references for it throughout the night.
Yeah,
Kinda,
well, he's the heel commentator, so he's got to be a dick.
guy needs to come up with more material.
Get more material, goat.
Yeah, pal. Anyway, this match was awesome.
Oh my fucking god.
This match gets talked about a lot as like a contender for the greatest Mania opener ever. I think most people generally only have like Brett and Owen as being definitely better than this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen that Brett and Owen, so I can't speak to that one.
Yeah, I haven't either. Or
Oh, that's fair.
it's been a while, you know.
Yeah.
I
But like yeah, like kind of my main thing as a kind of overarching theme for this match is like unironically this is insane and awesome to be watching. Like two of the greatest to ever do it meeting each other in the ring is one thing. And that is undoubtedly a description of both Daniel Bryan and Triple H. They are both two of the some of the best to ever fucking step into a wrestling ring. But like in some ways, this is not a match that like should have happened because like it's highly improbable. Like it's this gigantic clash of styles we just simply don't get to see with any regularity. Like Triple H, he obviously kind of like started off WCW whatever, but like by the time he really found his footing, you can basically call him like a WWE homegrown guy, right? Like he wrestles very much in the style of a WWE wrestler.
And he wrestles a very like punchy, like
Yeah.
brawler type.
And that's not again, I
not
need to emphasize this is not a bad thing. This is not an
Yeah.
insult to him by any means. The WWE style can be done exceptionally well. We've seen it done exceptionally well by scores of wrestlers. But it does stand in this insane stark contrast to somebody like Daniel Bryan, who is the technical wizard. You simply don't get to see matchups like this on the reg, mostly because, like, the probability of like two of those types of people stepping in the ring is not insanely high. And like, and Triple H and Daniel Bryan too are like the epitomes of these two styles. Triple H is at like the forefront of like WWE style wrestling. Daniel Bryan is at like the forefront of like technical indie guy style wrestling. So this is fucked in like the best way possible.
And what's the craziest thing to me is that Triple H kind of steps into Bryan's of how he wrestles this match.
Yes.
Like,
oh my fucking god,
I've never seen Triple H work this many holds in my life.
Oh my god, yes.
Triple H. This is Triple H's last great match in his career. Like he will never really have. Like he'll have matches I think that come kind of close. Like his match with WrestleMania too fucking long. His match with Triple H with Batista, at WrestleMania was also fine, but also even too fucking longer. Triple H is on in the middle of a lengthy streak where his match will be the longest match at WrestleMania for years. This is how this happens. And that's still true here. which is so fucking unnecessary. But, you know,
In this case, it's fucking
it
boring.
works so well here and pretty much
Mhm.
never again. His match with Sting didn't need to be this long. His match with Roman didn't need to be this long.
So does not need to be that long.
His
That
match
is
with Seth didn't need to be that long.
yeah.
We didn't need to see Triple H get back in the ring at Saudi Arabia and have a tag match with Shawn Michaels against Kane and
Against the
Undertaker
fucking
and
Brothers
stink
of
the whole
Destruction.
goddamn bed up, doesn't even cover it.
Oh. But here,
Amazing. His
yeah.
working boots were on for this
Oh my
match.
fucking god. Triple H starts off the match by going for the handshake. Daniel Bryan kicks him away. Which I have to wonder, like, if this has anything to do with like Vince trying to stick it to like Ring of Honor, like just as a random like Ring of Honor catching
I
stories.
doubt
Fuck
it.
you.
That's
I
it's
doubt
more.
it,
I think
but
it's much.
I
It's
just
much.
I did
There's
find
too
it
much
funny.
story. There's too much story focused on specifically handshaking.
Yeah, no,
for
I
it to
know,
be
but
anything more
like,
than that.
I did find it funny that like they actually did show like Ring of Honor footage from him, and then the first thing he does is technically disrespect the Code of Honor.
Yeah,
Um,
funny coincidence, I think.
yeah, but yeah,
Daniel Bryan does some strikes. Triple H kind of takes advantage. Triple H rests to roll out. Daniel mockingly offers the handshake, and JBL says this is insulting for Daniel Bryan to do this. And then Jerry goddamn Lawler
oh my
asks
god,
JBL if he has issues with his short-term memory. Has he been drinking milk
drinking
from
milk from
forgetful
forgetful
cows?
Amnesia milk, Lawler.
Lawler actually a good. He's trying to call back to like story and recent history.
Yeah,
Of
broken
the
clock posting,
handshake.
but of course he had to say it in the
But
most
before that,
obnoxious
he's
fucking
like, "Are
way.
you drinking milk from forgetful cows?"
Forgetful cows.
And I think
What is this?
JBL was stun locked for a couple of seconds, for about 30
He
seconds
was.
there. I don't think he was like, "What?"
Jerry Lawler unironically believes that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Yeah, yeah. He heard that joke in 5th grade, and he's like, "Oh shit, for real?"
And he's like, Jerry Lawler will remember this.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was kind of skim on match notes for the front half. It's kind of a lot of like early on, like Daniel Bryan and Trips are pretty evenly matched. Like
yeah, they're doing again
Bryan,
a lot of like grounded technical wrestling. Triple H like working the arm in a way that I've never seen.
Working the arm.
It's
And Daniel Bryan is
crazy.
trying to like firebrand his way through this match. Like basically kind of what it seemed like early on in the match is like Daniel Bryan's sheer like speed and tenacity trips up Triple H. And he's able to get like some good sequences on him. But then Triple H is able to kind of like brute strength his way back to being on the offense for a little bit. And it goes like that for a little while. The first place where I really started taking like concerted match notes is when they're doing shit with the announce tables. Do you have stuff before that?
I did some notes. I was like, whoa, when Daniel Bryan did a DDT to Triple H onto the floor off the apron.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And then Stephanie, I wrote a note of like when Stephanie was like yelling at trash talk. He's like, "You're never gonna win. You can't beat him."
Oh, that's her this entire match. She's just screaming.
First time I noted that. Daniel Bryan goes to the top rope. Triple H hits the rope and crotches Daniel and throws Daniel to the floor. And then Triple H clears off the English announce table. That's up.
Hey, here's a fun drinking game. Take a shot every fucking time the announce table gets cleared off.
It's more often than I thought would be than you would think of how much that happens.
Yes. Take a shot every time that happens tonight.
Triple H tries to do a pedigree. Bryan fights him off, but then Triple H is like, "Fuck you then," and slams the injured arm into the table. And then he tries to go for the count out win. Like he rolls in and is like, "Start counting." Bryan does get in the ring, though. Triple H starts attacking the arm more. Daniel Bryan, Triple H gets in the fucking cross-face chicken wing.
Yeah, that was a move and a half. That's a dumb fucking move. Or that's a dumb fucking name for a move that actually looks pretty cool.
I don't know who named it, but
Well, Jerry Lawler knew it, so it might be some down south Memphis shit.
I mean, Bob Backlund called it the crossface chicken wing. So
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know if he originated that.
either way, that
Yeah,
was
but I was
fucking
like, I didn't even
hilarious.
know Triple H knew that move. What?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Again, doing that like going to that technical shit. He's playing Daniel
Mhm.
Bryan's game, trying to like submit him for the disrespect.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan tries to fight him off, and Triple H just gets him down on the ground then and does like a regular crossface.
Into the crossface, the like just a vanilla yes lock essentially. Um
Yes
and
lock was a
then
label lock, and the big difference is you hook the leg, hook the arm with your legs is the difference between like a label lock
see,
and a
I thought I saw him
crossface.
hooking the arm with his leg too.
Nah, you didn't.
Okay, I thought never mind. I thought I saw that.
Yeah,
Because I do know that difference.
yeah.
But yes, Daniel Bryan's able to crawl to the ropes though, break the hold. Although Triple H is getting overzealous and like keeps the hold on too long. The ref actually has to get in his face.
He's
They're
like,
like,
hey,
"When I tell you to
hey.
break, you break." Um, Lawler makes a comment about how like Stephanie's on the outside with an evil smile on her face. JBL, because he's the heel, says, she's a beautiful woman. Let's be respectful. And Lawler, once again, incapable of making a good point without still coming off as obnoxious. I didn't say she wasn't beautiful. I just said she had an evil smile. Okay, yeah, thank you, Lawler. Fucking, he even has a wholesome face. He still manages to be a perv. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
so they
I
Triple H and Daniel are kind of exchanging blows. But
I thought
then
a cool thing.
Daniel,
I thought a cool thing was this sequence of Daniel Bryan does his backflip off the top rope, which is part of his like comeback sequence.
oh
Triple
yeah,
H counters and tries to do a German suplex. Bryan counters that and hits Triple H's big ass with a German suplex. Always appreciate a German suplex on a guy who is significantly larger than you.
oh my
Like
god.
that's always a fascinating thing to watch.
Let's see. Did I where did I have? Because I had the German in there. Um, this is like a little after what I was about to
Yeah.
talk about.
Okay.
They
Okay.
exchange blows. Daniel runs the ropes, like shoulder checks Triple H.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
did skip. I thought you were further than that. Yeah, I take note.
no, that's fine. Daniel Bryan tries to rev up the yes kicks. But after he lands a couple, Triple H puts an end to it, and then yeah, throws Daniel to like the top of the corner. Daniel fucking backflips. Triple H goes to hit him, and yes, Daniel Bryan reverses into fucking Germaning Triple H. Which again, I think if an intentional story beat, look at the little guy TM German
Mhm.
suplexing the massive mountain person who is Hunter
Yeah.
Hunter Helms Hemsley.
And then a cool
Fucking
thing, a cool move was Triple H like does for the chicken wing again, but Daniel Bryan fights out of it. So Triple H he does like a German suplex, but he keeps the
but like
arms hooked the
yeah,
way
he
he
does it
has
with the
for a
arms hook, and he
pedigree.
just like fucking tosses him. Like he does
Yeah.
not like Daniel when he German Triple H tried to bridge it into a pin. Triple H
Hmm.
just beats him all the way to
Yoink.
fucking across the ring. That is, I don't think I've ever seen someone get thrown that far with a German before. That was fucked up. So
Yeah.
Daniel's back in the corner, but he manages to land a sunset flip on Triple H, which again,
Yeah. Crazy top rope
Daniel
sunset
Bryan
flip.
moving around a guy of Triple H's size like that is
Hmm.
nuts.
Daniel Bryan starts doing the drop kicks into the corner.
Drop
One,
kicks, and then
two,
Triple H
third time. Bam!
counters it with this insane fucking clothesline. Oh my god. And then he tries to get Daniel up for the pedigree, which Daniel counters again. So then Triple H just goes for the crossface again, trying to go for that
He is
fucking
doing it.
disrespect.
But then Daniel Bryan is fading. Oh no!
Oh, he's selling that really well too.
Triple H rolls through and rolls around and gets Bryan back in the middle of the ring. Oh no! But Bryan breaks the hold and gets in the
Yes. Yes. Triple H. And so it's sick as fuck to watch Triple H like suffer to the yes lock. That was
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, Triple H barely gets his hand to the ropes to break the hold.
Yeah,
At this
Stephanie has to
point,
be like, come here, boy. Come here, boy. Is ropes
he's like,
right here.
"Take my
Come here,
hand."
boy. Yeah, take my hand. That was
But
hilarious.
then JBL suggests that losing this match would be Triple H's most embarrassing loss in his entire career.
Especially in the yes lock.
Which is, I get we're telling a story here, but no.
Yeah, what I took it as, like, he did everything in his power to bury Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan still came out on top. So, like, I got it from that angle of, like, the sheer, like, defiance this is to any ounce of authority that Triple H has. It would just be devastating to his ego.
But, Daniel Bryan, he
fucking
starts hitting his moves. He's doing the dives to the outside. He
Yeah,
gets kicked
so
in the
so
barricade.
the way the sequence goes, 2 topes to the outside, which I should note, he tried to tope Triple H earlier, and Triple H, like, caught him. So that was,
he just nacked him with a forearm to the face.
oh my god, yeah, that was fucked. So here he hits 2 different topes, throws Triple H back into the ring, like a springboard drop kick off the fucking turnbuckle, and then he goes for the Psycho knee, and Triple H counters it into a spine buster and then a pedigree for a 2 count, which was, watching him catch Daniel out of midair and throw him down for a spine buster was fucked.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Couple notes from this is I noticed that a bunch of people on Hardcam have little pieces of paper with the yes printed on them.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then
cool,
I took a lot of Michael Cole had a lot of great calls tonight. One of them I noted is when the pedigree hits, JBL's like, the yes movement just died, and then Daniel Bryan kicks out. Michael goes, not yet.
Yeah, no, Cole is at his like kind of sharp, snippy best tonight. Of like, he's not able to like always pull out the single greatest lines, but like when he's on it, he's able to just like bring the fire that carries these types of matches.
Oh, there's definitely one in the main event where he is just on fire.
There are definitely a few. There are definitely some shit I wrote down. One thing I will give him credit for is he's really leaning into, we're talking about Triple H's nicknames. He's really leaning into the Cerebral Assassin thing. That's another one of Triple H's.
This is a Cerebral Assassin match.
Cerebral Assassin. Yes. This is top tier Cerebral Assassin. Except there's something we've kind of neglected to mention is Daniel Bryan keeps kind of catching Triple H in these like roll-ups and counter pins, essentially. There's a fire here. This is like, in contrast, this is a sign that Daniel Bryan is able to like get past the Cerebral Assassin a little bit. He's able to outmaneuver, outsmart the Cerebral Assassin. The story here of like, Triple H almost like letting his ego get in the way a couple times, and Daniel able to like even outwit the great Cerebral Assassin. That was a great like fucking running theme throughout this too. And then so basically another series of reversals. Triple H throws Daniel Bryan. Daniel lands on his feet, and then with a simple running Psycho knee, he drops Triple H. 1, 2, 3. Oh,
Daniel shit. Down. Stephanie is stunned by this. In the words of JBL, the yes movement has beaten the authority.
Absolutely. And I it was interesting because I was really hoping to see Daniel make Triple H tap to the yes lock. On one hand, like, I get not wanting to do that to Triple H, but two, I also do like kind of what I was talking about earlier, the simplicity of Triple H is throwing up all these barriers, and yet with just the simplest little thing, that special je ne sais quoi Daniel Bryan has, he's able to refute every ounce of the authority's bullshit in just one fell swoop. So that's an incredible kind of thematic way to finish it off.
And then after the match, Stephanie gets in the ring, starts slapping Bryan, and Bryan's just like laughing.
He's laughing. And then Triple H comes from behind, boom! Like fucking like lariats Daniel from behind down to the ground.
So he sends Bryan's arm into the ring post and then smashes Bryan's arm with a chair. And so Bryan is kind of crumbled in a corner now as they walk off. Bryan's arm is fucked.
Yes, they have sufficiently worked the shoulder
They've done the best they can do.
Yes. We go backstage real quick. And Sergeant Slaughter. Oh, actually, one more thing I want to mention about that.
The Outlaws match happens first.
Oh, the Outlaws match. Also, one last thing I want to point out is as Triple H and Stephanie reach the top of the ramp after beating up Daniel, Stephanie raises Triple H's arm of like, yeah, he may have just lost, but he may have lost the battle, but we're gonna win the war.
We've won.
Yes.
So then we go to the next match, the New Age Outlaws of Kane versus the Shield. The New Age Outlaws are about to do their whole bit. The Shield's music hits and interrupts them. And then before the Shield can get down to the ring, Kane's music interrupts the Shield. But then they come out. It's a 3-minute 6-man tag match. The Shield just squashes the fuck out of the old people.
You love to see it.
This WrestleMania, in a lot of ways, tries to feel like a new era, a new guard, a new generation, except not like that one.
Yeah.
And I think you can see it from like that opening promo being a big old nostalgia jerk-off fest, but also talking about how all the new people in the back are inspired by us old people and how they're going to give it their all here tonight, just like we did back in our day. And then Bryan beats Triple H. And then in this match, the Shield beat up the Attitude Era old-timers in basically no trouble at all.
With just very little, yeah.
So I do think that this WrestleMania 30, they went into it with this idea of like out with the old, in with the new. No, they would not stick that.
No.
With that
and also I have things to say about that in a little bit, but we'll get there.
There's one match I think doesn't fit theme.
Yeah, yes.
That idea.
Yes, you and I will agree on that, I think.
But I do feel that theme throughout the show. And
that's where I didn't realize that, but that is good. That's a good catch.
And then we go backstage. Jim Duggan and Sergeant Slaughter are playing with WWF toys.
Yes. They're fucking like Slam City action figures in playset. So they're playing. Ricky Steamboat shows up in his like karate gear.
Danny Davis awards the win to Jim Duggan. Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh shit, that was Danny Davis.
That was. So he's like, "You're a crooked referee. You got me again." And then Ricky Steamboat shows up and he's like, "I'll challenge you next." And then this dude in a suit comes, takes the whole toy set, and he's like, "This set has been bought by someone else," and in walks Ted DiBiase.
Fucking Ted DiBiase. Yes, dropping his millions on the tiny little Slam City playset.
and then at the end of it, Ron Simmons comes in. He looks at all this and he's just like, "Damn!" That's his like last career bit for Ron Simmons. Is he kind of got over as a meme of just seeing these ridiculous situations, looking at him and just being like, "Damn!" And then walks off.
Too, Ron. Me fucking too. Yeah, they're here to hawk Slam City merchandise. All right. Well,
it's time for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
It's almost cruel how much they're building up Big Show for this, only to not have him win. It's kind of
he comes out in the Andre singlet. Look at Big Show paying tribute to his dead father.
His dead
Christian Cage being like,
oh my. I love that they're just leaning into sidebar, unrelated. I love that they're just leaning into that right now. Like the internet saw that and was like, oh ha, Christian loves dead dads. And then the fucking all out media scrum, the first thing Christian does when he sits down is he goes, "So how's everybody's fathers doing?"
It's like a threat.
I know. Like, they're just leaning in. Like, yes, Christian is attracted to people whose fucking dads are dead.
He's attracted to widows, and he is a widow hunter.
He's a widow hunter, and he's going to murder their sons.
Anyway, Big Show coming out in the Andre singlet. The only people who get entrances are Big Show and Sheamus. Everyone else is just already in the ring.
Some reason. Yeah, we have like Andre or fucking Big Show who's like set up to be the winner of this. And then Sheamus's entrance too for reasons. Okay.
Anyway, chaos, pure chaos. There's 30 fucking people in here.
Yeah. All right. I did
wanna
try to
go
take notes of the eliminations.
I did try to take note. I got all the eliminations.
Okay.
First,
Some dude named
Yoshitatsu immediately tossed
Yoshitatsu,
first.
and commentary is like, well, man, didn't expect to see him in this match anyway. Bye-bye.
Yoshi got mentioned at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, they just bury the shit out of this poor
Total
guy.
jobber jabroni, Yoshitatsu. But I will always respect Yoshitatsu because in WWE 12, in universe mode, Yoshitatsu won the fucking Royal Rumble once in my universe mode. I was pushing him to the moon.
Hell yeah. You got to use those power cards, baby.
Did he have any character besides being Japanese? Absolutely not.
No. Of course, he's a Japanese man in the WWE. Of course, he doesn't have a character outside of that.
Anyway, I noted Kofi and Kofi Kingston and Cody Rhodes doing a dual skin the cat spot. I don't think I've ever explained.
Yes, I also had that. Kofi like they're right next to each other. Kofi like reaches his leg across and like kicks Cody in the chest, but they just kind of both manage to survive.
I don't know why they call it, but is when you're like hanging from the rope on your arms and like barely not touching the ground and trying to not touch the ground.
Yeah, like you always kind of like dangle your feet, like so they're just
again, flip yourself you don't up or dangle your feet up, like you gotta get out of that. And then Brad Maddox gets thrown out, and the announcer's like, "LOL, he put himself in this." Okay.
Yeah, Brad Maddox is here because he's the general manager of Raw at this point.
He is.
So I heard I think JBL goes, "Is Vicky in there too?" I would love to see
and then I wrote Great Khali. I wrote Great Khali, hater of Fox News correspondents.
Based, because
he threw out Brodus Clay.
Gone. And it was funny too, because like on commentary, they're like 3 men to watch out for who it will be incredibly hard to eliminate. Mark Henry, the Great Khali, and of course the Big Show. And then
3MB throw out Great Khali after this happens.
Yeah, 15 fucking seconds later. Zack Ryder's gone then some
the
other
crowd barely catches the camera barely catches this. But then Jerry Lawler with his goddamn one-liner of the night where he's like, I heard 3MB has been touring China with a walk band. Fucking Lawler. Get it? Because it's a rock band.
A rock band, but they use walks in Japan or China.
God damn it. And then, this was also funny in a shitty way. So JBL is like, this will be a career-defining moment for one of these superstars. And then Darren Young gets eliminated. And he's like, not for him.
That's actually good. I think he was the some other motherfucker I wrote about because I didn't.
And then Mark Henry single-handedly tosses the entirety of 3MB out.
Yes, although I want to point out in between I already forgot the fucking name of the guy. Some motherfucker. The elimination right. Darren Young. Between the Darren Young and the 3MB elimination, we see Rey Mysterio like laying on the apron, just clutching his arms and his legs around the bottom rope.
That's winning strats right there.
Just trying to hide there. That was incredible. Yeah, Mark Henry yeets the entirety of 3MB.
And then Big Show throws out Mark Henry.
So Mark Henry's gone too.
The guys to watch out for, 2 of the 3 are already gone.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god, and it didn't even last. Like it was done. Titus O'Neil is then out pretty quickly too.
And then I wrote
we get a great spot from Santino.
I wrote thin out this ring so we can do some spots, and then after that, Santino, no, not Santina, that's Santino's fake sister. Santino tries to hit the Cobra on the Miz, but Miz is like
Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods. Yeah. He basically stops this from happening. Tries to eliminate the Miz himself. But then Cobra strikes.
And then Santino hits the Cobra and knocks the Miz out of the match.
The Cobra got a Battle Royale elimination.
And then
baby, you love this.
Immediately, Alberto Del Rio throws Santino.
No, boo.
All right, the Rhodes
Uh,
brothers work together to throw out Damien Sandow.
yeah, fucking Cody grabs Damien, Rip Bozo, throws him toward the ropes, and Goldust pulls the fucking rope down. Sandow goes over the top by Felicia.
Yeah,
And
I
then
wrote
Big E.
this is I want you to know the exact sequence of notes I did here. I wrote Justin Gabriel is remarkably still here. Next note. Biggie said now he's not.
Now he's not Justin Gabriel and
Yeah, if you reminded, that's the Darewolf. That's old Darewolf.
Yes, okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so. All right, I knew that was familiar. And then David Otunga's gone too. We don't like lawyers around here. Fuck them.
Yeah, Biggie throws out Curtis Axel. And Cara and Rey Mysterio are fighting on the apron.
They're going at it. This is Ray's out here being like, "This is what you get for trying to take my place as the token luchador around here."
Hey, and then Fandango throws out Biggie. That's
boo.
A bit where he gets on the ring. He just starts dancing.
Fandango pop dances too close to the sun. Sheamus sees this and
Valra on him.
It hits him like fucking 20 times. And then
just lets his broken body fall.
Absolutely brutalizing him. That was incredible.
And then Big Show Gorilla Press slams Ruth out of the match.
No! I wrote Tyson Kidd.
I wrote Tyson Kidd still here.
Tyson Kidd is still here. I want to point out Michael Cole
goes to eliminate. Good.
Yeah, Big Show goes to eliminate Rey Mysterio, and Michael Cole on commentary starts yelling, "Eat him, Big Show! Eat him!" What? Okay. I was watching with Robbie and Robbie. So Robbie goes, who knew they were so into? I say vor. He says cannibalism. Our minds went to two similar but very different places.
I'm gonna break the tie and say I also thought vor first.
Yes. I could see it. That awoke somebody's kink. Anyway, yeah. Speaking
the
of
writer's
Tyson Kidd,
poorly disguised fetish.
Disguised fetish. True. Happens a lot on this show. Come to think. Yeah.
Del Rio kicks Tyson Kidd off the top rope because Tyson Kidd was an idiot who went to the top rope in a battle royal.
Yeah. Well, why? Fucking Robbie pointed that out too. He's like, "Why the hell would you go to the top rope in a match like this?"
That's a good question. It's because most wrestlers are dumb. Cesaro goes at Goldust, and Cody sees him, but then Del Rio eliminates Goldust. And then, speaking of dumbasses, Cody Rhodes goes to the top rope to do a move at Alberto Del Rio, and Alberto Del Rio kicks him off the top.
Oh,
so
idiot.
The final 7.
This sequence was sick, though.
Yeah, okay, so the final 7 in this match, I want to just give a status
update.
Please. Is Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Cesaro, Sheamus, and The Big Show are the final 7. Well. So 619 to Alberto Del Rio. He tries to do it again to Cesaro. Cesaro intercepts it. So Rey just tries to do like a springboard move, and Cesaro just uppercuts the shit out of him and knocks Rey Mysterio out of the match.
Oh my god, that was brutal. Yeah, that hurt to see.
Dolph tries to go at Cesaro and just gets uppercutted to hell. Cesaro
just goes to hell and dies.
And then Cesaro tosses Kofi Kingston over the ring post, and Kofi Kingston catches his feet on the ring steps and therefore is not eliminated.
Okay, of all the Kofi not eliminations I've seen from the Royal Rumble, I don't think anything has blown my mind as much as this has from the fucking Andre Battle Memorial Royal. Because fucking Cesaro, the way this is, so Cesaro's in the corner. Kofi launches himself at Cesaro. Cesaro catches him, throws Kofi fucking behind him, and Kofi's able to land so that his feet are touching the steps into the ring and thus not touching the ground. That is insane that they were able to pull that off. Cesaro basically without looking. I don't understand how they did that. That was fucking nuts.
And then Kofi gets back in the ring. He starts doing all his spots. He goes for the Trouble in Paradise, and Cesaro says,
Well, he hits it on Big Show. He says he hits it
die.
on Big Show, which staggers him.
He does.
And then he tries. Cesaro, ultimate denier of finishers in this match, says no, thank you.
So he does the big swing on Kofi a lot.
Yeah.
Show. But then Big Show hits a choke slam on Cesaro to keep him out of the match for a hot second. Del Rio throws out Kofi Kingston. Dolph Ziggler goes at Del Rio, takes his shirt off, and then is thrown out by Del Rio.
Yes.
That is so. Final four:
Ew.
Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, and the Big Show.
Yeah, I don't think you also mentioned Sheamus bro kicks like Kofi to eliminate him.
Okay, I didn't think.
Yeah. Sheamus bro kicks Kofi to eliminate him. But then yes, so Del Rio tries to go after Sheamus and put him in a submission hold.
He puts him in the CrossFit in the arm breaker.
And commentary's like, what the fuck is he
why?
doing?
How does that help you?
Well, exactly. I'll tell you why. So Sheamus can show that he's a strong boy. Picks him
Sheamus
up.
lifts him up.
Because the way Del Rio is, he's like wrapped in a ball kind of around Sheamus's arm, essentially. So Sheamus kind of grabs him, picks him up, and dumps his ass over.
Except in doing that, Sheamus also falls out of the ring.
Yes. So the only other guy who got an entrance is gone before the final two. Womp womp.
It's time for Cesaro versus the Big Show.
Yes.
They do some back and forth. Cesaro trying to take the big man down, but the Big Show just keeps fighting him off. Cesaro lifts up Cesaro. Big Show lifts up Cesaro. Cesaro gets away and then bounced off the ropes. Cesaro picks up the Big Show in the body slam, doing it Hogan to Andre style, and he just carries Big Show over to the ropes and body slams him out of the ring.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're pushing him because he's breaking up with Jack Swagger and he's gonna hang out with Heyman, but also he's gonna do nothing when he's with Heyman. After we've pushed Big Show to the moon as the heir apparent to this fucking, it's such weird booking.
I'm fine with that because Big Show's old. Here's the part that confuses me about all this is that Cesaro is getting babyface pops. He's getting babyface pops in that way of I do cool moves so people like me.
Yeah.
Okay. The swing is mega over. They're breaking away from
Real Americans.
From the Real Americans. Okay.
Still wearing the fucking libertarian flag colors though.
He gets this big spot in this match. And I will point out that all of his biggest moves were to baby faces. Ray, Ziggler, Kofi, Big Show. Except people loved them because they were awesome. Because they're, again, cool fucking moves.
Yeah, he's a fucking freak. So anything he does,
they're calling this body slam bit, they're calling back the Hogan slamming Andre.
Yep.
In the way they did that. So, plan, it's all there, which is why I must ask, why on the next night on Raw does he fire Zeb Coulter to go sign up with Paul Heyman? Why did they not lean in to babyface Cesaro?
Well, obviously, Austin, because 5 different crowds didn't hijack the show to show how much they fucking love Cesaro. He will never
be this over as a singles guy again. And they are blowing it.
Yeah, Austin, because we didn't have endless fucking Cesaro chants to completely take over episodes of Raw. So clearly the people must not want it that bad. Come on now.
I'm just very unhappy and very confused about the thought process.
Yeah, well, WWE not recognizing when they do or don't have a good thing going for them is kind of a running theme of the entire modern era. So I don't know why you're surprised. This is completely on brand.
And if anyone wants to say, well, have you considered that Cesaro isn't great at promos? He struggled with it in WWE. And to which I will say, I will call this the Zack Ryder principle of booking, where instead of focusing on what the limitations are and how far you can take that, why do you not just strike while the iron's hot and just take what you get? Like in that way, I mean, of like a lot of justifications for why they didn't push Zack Ryder more is that he would run out of steam, that he wasn't you can't make a main event star out of him because he doesn't have all the tools, or at least 2011 Zack didn't. My argument is, do it, just go with it, and if he falls off, he falls off. But you didn't do anything with him, and you didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, the one time they did that shit was with Roman Reigns, and even fucking then, it was so clearly manufactured to hell and back that they just refused to listen when the audience stopped being receptive to it. So they can't find the fucking middle ground.
Right. Even if Cesaro didn't quite have the promo skills to be a top guy, he was super over. Run with it. See how far you can take
upper mid-card babyface run. Like,
see how
this
far you
hard.
can take it before you just be like, well, we can't take it all the way, so who fucking cares?
Yeah. Oh my god. No, it's so this is like the booking principles of this.
WWE has a really bad habit of like, you're either potential event or you're basically nothing. Like
yeah.
In terms of like how willing they are to like
take
do
chances
stuff
on guys, 100.
Right. Like if they don't see actual main event potential, they're more just like, well, just let them flounder around in the mid card. Who cares?
Yeah, but like,
and it's like, no
thing. You see,
there's more tiers than two.
You know who the fuck else isn't a great promo? The goddamn Undertaker. Fight me.
He's terrible. He got by on gimmick.
He got by on gimmick and not having to say all that much. Like, fucking, there are ways around this. The guy who's not great on promos is about to have, like, one of the most momentous matches in all of your company's history tonight. Like, fuck, just take a chance. Whatever, okay. But yes.
And then they even botched the part, because even if you are committed to him being a babyface, you're committed to him being a heel. Heyman, there's few better at building a heel character than manager Paul Heyman. Except they use him as an excuse to keep Paul Heyman on TV to get heat for Brock Lesnar based on what's going to happen in the later tonight.
Oh my god.
He doesn't talk about Cesaro. He talks about Lesnar.
It's so stupid.
Anyway, Cesaro, whatever. He gets this trophy. It's basically
big ass trophy.
Like, good for him. They're gonna quickly not give a shit about this match anymore. This is the one time they unequivocally gave a shit. Good for him.
Yeah.
Getting the dub on it. They shout out the French announce team.
That was cute.
And then
also, I can't help but notice
legacy.
The commentary hasn't taken a single fucking sip of their rancid ass Diet Mountain Dews.
But then this is my legacy. Yeah.
Yes.
It's time for Bray Wyatt versus John Cena.
Oh my god, the fucking promo package, the video package we get for this. It starts with Cena giving a boilerplate like Cena promo, like, you know, I've worked so hard to get here. I've worked hard my entire career. I'm here now to get the job done. But it's interspersed with Bray Wyatt going, lie, you're a liar, which is just beautiful.
Absolutely spitting with these promo packages tonight.
Bray Wyatt has been spitting this entire fucking feud.
Yeah, so we get exotic sword dance routine. I was like, all right, I hear you. And then
you know, shout out to like the local dancer they hired for this sheet, you know.
Yeah, and then we're here, but then we get Code Orange is here to do a live performance of Bray's theme.
Yeah, that was sick as fuck. Like the band are in like plague masks.
Really cool.
I
also
wrote
this should have been and then I wrote this should have been my first sign how this match would go. That Bray Wyatt got a live performance of his theme. There is no greater curse in wrestling than a live band played my song.
Well, tonight it's the curse of just like extravagant entrances in general.
That's true.
Every time he who gets the biggest entrance falls the hardest. Even fucking Big Show getting an entrance at all for the Andre Battle Memorial is like a death knell for him in that match.
Hmm.
But it was sick as fuck.
I noted, I
Wyatt,
noted that, I
Wyatt,
noted that, like with the lighting and because they had cameras on the band, this is the
yeah.
first time I've ever noticed this. Is that Rowan drags the rocking chair to the ring?
Oh, really? I didn't even catch that.
Normally it's too dark to see that, but like
Yeah.
with the orangey lighting they put in the on the stage, and because they have the band kind of centered in the camera a little bit, you get a better look at Rowan, and you can see Rowan dragging the rocking chair.
Oh my god, that's so fucking awesome. So all this like incredible atmosphere, they make their approach. New Orleans were here. Bray's got some incredible fucking drip on. And then yeah, the atmosphere gone. Here comes fucking Cena. We do get kind of a great moment of him like legitimately hesitating at the top of the ramp. Like he's emphasizing that he is scared of Bray Wyatt. He emphasized that in the
Mhm.
video package. He's emphasizing that here. Um and he swallows his fear and he does the salute and he runs toward the ring. Um Great little exchange on commentary of Michael Cole refers to Bray Wyatt as a false prophet, and JBL kind of questions this again. Like it's kind of like heel contrarianism, but it ultimately ends up working. He's like, "Why do you say that? If he beats John Cena tonight, he is the prophet that he says he is," which is a great fucking
Mhm.
line.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we get into this match, I kind of want to give my overarching thought as I did for the last match. So okay. I remember we talked about the basics of this match like early on in the podcast life and I was like, I don't know what I feel
I've
about
talked before about how this arc of this Cena Wyatt arc and how it goes
yes.
before.
Okay. So, I everything that this feud has been going for up until now has been pretty fucking solid. Um it's Wyatt trying to like, expose Cena as like a phony, a charlatan. He is
Mhm.
some great hero to the masses, but really he's nothing.
But
Um
deep down, he is a monster. This is
okay.
we're one more daying ourselves here.
Yeah, we're one more except like everything up until the monster thing is great. The monster thing
Mhm.
is where this shit falls apart for me a little bit. Cuz like I get what he's going for in that like Cena's just as much a monster as everyone else. He's not a superhero, but the way in which Bray tries to finally prove that in this match has had like no build up until now. Like we don't ever really see John Cena's like darker side coming out on the road to get here. And so it makes this point that Wyatt tries to prove off the bat where he kneels in front of Cena and says like, "Strike me down, John. Show me the monster you really are." I get what they're going for, and if they was doing an angle of like John Cena's a coward deep down, I would be super into this. John Cena is a coward. He's scared of Bray Wyatt. He talks all this good shit when someone can really get into his head and play on his insecurities that maybe this like image he's built up for himself is meaningless. It has no base in reality. Um, I think that is effective. But this whole "show me you're a monster" angle, that it everything up to it is so great, and then it just misses the landing in my opinion on that like final thematic note. Do you feel that too? What is your kind of thought on this?
I agree it misses the landing, but for a different reason than you argue. Like
Okay.
you seem to have an issue with it from a conceptual level, of which I do not. I love the way this
No,
match
on a
takes
conceptual level,
this.
I like it too. Let me be clear. If they want to go for seen as a monster deep down, That's great. I need to see that built up to. I need to see us building toward Monster. The way I saw it, it wasn't building up towards to Cena the Monster. It was building to Cena the Coward. I think they were using the wrong word here.
I can see that. My problem with this buildup is the way this match plays out.
Yes.
Otherwise, I have no notes about that.
That's
because I really like
fair.
It, so
I don't. I want to be clear. I don't ultimately dislike it. I like what's happening here. I just like because here's the thing: the Fed does not have the balls to tell this story in the way that it should be told. Where Cena faces any kind of actual defeat. Sure, he got beaten up by the Wyatts last week and had the sheet mask put on his face. Cool. Other than that, there has not been all that much reason. It doesn't feel like what they were, the concepts they were going for were explored enough. And I don't think they had the balls to do that with the Cena character. He was too protected. But again, I could be fine with accepting this for what it is if they were playing on Cena the Coward instead of Cena the Monster. Because if you're playing on Cena the Coward, then this is a lot easier to do. If you're playing on Cena the Monster, a lot more needed to go into it. I think for everything to kind of like come together. I think the sum of the parts are greater than the whole here.
I see where you're at with that. So Bray Wyatt starts the match, offers himself to Cena. And he's like, be the monster you are, John. Finish me. Like he's presenting, he wants Cena. They play a lot on commentary, the idea that Bray Wyatt doesn't really care about winning necessarily. It's not really his end goal. Like he wants to win, but that's not the real end goal to the.
He has a higher ideological purpose for being here.
Right, and so after Cena debates what he's gonna do, Bray Wyatt does get back up, and they start having a regular match.
Yeah,
Cena gets Bray. They start doing some basic chain wrestling at each other. This one I noted. Let's go Cena.
I will say early on, like Cena spends a lot of this match getting like tossed around by Bray.
A little bit. He also is kind of aggressive in his strikes in the earliest part of this match. Bray
is or Cena is?
Cena is. Like those.
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that until like I noticed him kind of doing that like at the very beginning. But again, I saw like him.
Yeah, it's like very beginning and then mid to later in the match when they get to that. But
yeah, but there's a great moment from Bray where like while he's beating up on John and you can tell John is still kind of hesitating. Bray kind of has John in a hold and he yells to the crowd, "He don't even want to fight me." Which is that again, great moment.
Yeah,
like, I'm here for the Cena of the Coward angle, so that was great.
Bray, I liked Bray. Cena had Wyatt being beaten down in the corner, and the ref has to like pull Cena off of him, and Wyatt's just laughing.
Yeah,
he's like, "This is what I want."
Another great line from Bray. This is your hero. This is the one you call hero.
Yeah, I loved Bray Wyatt was punching Cena down. He's like, "I know you, John." Bam, 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 bam.
Yes,
I thought that was funny.
That's one of the things I can really appreciate is the "I know you, John." Because I was thinking of like, why is this getting to Cena? Because like, in some ways, this is no different than any other like shit talking that he's received from like past feuds. Like this is just like, you're not really the guy. You think you're the guy.
It's the problem with WWE trying to lean more in meta narratives with John Cena. It's something they got really, really into in the latter part of his career. So like a lot of these heels feel like they're just repeating themselves.
But the thing is with Bray, like it's kind of a similar thing with Punk 3 years earlier of like, Bray seems like one of the only guys who's able to like actually get into Cena's head. Like Bray's one of the guys who's capable of actually making it personal. I think what can be said, again, I don't know how intentional this is, and I don't know how intentional like any subtle beats are by the WWE writers room. But it feels to me like kind of like if you look at Summer of Punk and you look at this feud with Bray Wyatt, is they're able to kind of like take it personal and like basically make Cena feel as though someone has slipped past his guard. Like
Mhm.
you could see it as Cena has, he's always kind of like defensive, um, kind of got his, his public persona up to shield him. But then like Bray, like Punk, is able to kind of slip under it a little bit. So the "I know you, John" thing, I think, kind of works
Yeah.
from
And
that
I
perspective.
think that it's too easy to compare this angle to the with 2 years earlier because it's such a similar premise.
It's the same. It's
And
the same
it's the
angle.
same basic thought process, but Bray Wyatt's is executed significantly better.
Yeah.
Embrace the hate is kind of dumb even when you say it out loud. Kane beats up John Cena's friend as a way to make John Cena start being an asshole. Like,
Okay.
not
Sure.
doesn't really. John Cena treats that as ideologically challenging as you think it is, as you think it would be. Like
No.
he does not. He doesn't get. He's barely phased. Like he has the righteous anger element of it, but beyond
Yeah.
that, he's not
Sure.
really phased by anything here.
Yeah. It's
Where
like, oh no, my friend got beaten up. That thing that happens regularly because I'm friends with people on this roster who lose matches. Oh no.
they almost tiptoed to something interesting with Cena where he made out with his best friend's girlfriend, but he played that off as her being a hoe. So and
Oh
he
yeah,
didn't do
that
anything
whole
wrong.
shit. Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, back to this match. You know, Bray Cena does a good job in this match of selling him kind of being emotionally off with everything kind of happening here. That
Yes. That
Bray
is true.
has
He's
gotten to
selling
him.
that pretty well. Yes.
Um,
And because he does kind of start to get big mad and like really go after Bray.
Yeah, so Bray Wyatt does some wear down holds, headlock city, baby, and then
Oh
but
yeah.
John Cena gets up and it's 5 moves of doom time. It's
Yeah, well,
shoulder
so
tackle,
he
shoulder
well he
tackle,
starts by
scoop
hitting
slam.
Bray with like a clothesline is his first like kind of big comeback. He like kind of
Mhm.
aggressively clotheslines Bray, and then yes, he goes into 5 move time except angry.
He goes for the 5 knuckle shuffle, but then Bray does the spooky exorcism thing, does the spider walk, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Something else I want to point out is earlier on the family tried to interfere and Bray told them not to, which I thought was really interesting. But then as the match goes on, that just kind of gets like thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Bray
kind of
still
know what they
wants
were
to
going for
win.
there.
He will. Upon further consideration, he will in fact take all means of victory.
Yeah. So that was another kind of like small fumble for me, but like, sure, we
Mhm.
still got to get the family involved.
Bray hits a Uranagi to take control of the match, and this is where things get real interesting with the crowd. Is
Yes.
suddenly the crowd starts singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands," which has been Bray Wyatt's thing for a while now. And Bray Wyatt starts conducting the crowd into doing it, and the crowd gets really big into waving their arms.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, they kind of like again, you can't pay for this type of like crowd
Mhm.
interaction. This was incredible.
Michael Cole
They
calls
start
it
like
a
playing into the
shepherd
bit.
leading his flock.
Yup. Yeah, no, it was great like crowd participation leaning into like the story that's being told. That was awesome.
Mhm. John Cena, for some reason, goes to the top rope. Bray Wyatt power bombs the shit out of him, so don't do that again, pal.
No,
Uh,
but Bray gets him to like the corner,
mhm.
splashes him in the corner. And then but fucking Cena goes back to the top rope, like gets Bray like then gets Cena up to the top rope, tries to climb up, but Cena fucking counters this and top rope DDTs Bray, which is not
Mhm.
something I see terribly often, but that was sick as
Yeah.
fuck.
So after that powerbomb counter, though, Cole calls out that Cena is being tentative right now. He's kind of playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
Mm.
And I was like, that's interesting. Read there. Cena hits his scoop slam, though. He gets back up. He does the 5-knuckle shuffle. And
Yeah.
then he goes for the AA, and Bray's like, nope.
Bray
And
Wyatt
drops
counters
him on
it.
his knee. Bray Wyatt drops Cena with a DDT on the apron. Though he's got the whole world in his hands. The fans have come to church, ladies and gentlemen.
They have all joined. We have all joined the Swamp Cult on this blessed day.
They are here for the sermon of Bray Wyatt.
True.
Bray Wyatt gets Cena up on the top rope. Cena headbutts Bray off, and he considers diving onto Bray, and he decides instead to turn around and dive off the top onto Harper and Rowan.
Sure. Bray comes to the outside to get up John. Bray starts yelling, "I know what to do! I figured it out, ref!" I honestly couldn't tell, like, so what he does
Because the ref told
is,
him to get Cena back in the ring.
that was in response to that. Well, Bray Wyatt says, "Fuck that." He goes and grabs the steps to the ring, pulls them apart, and tries to fucking sandwich John between them. But then Cena wakes up.
Cena fights it off, but then he picks up those steps, and he's like, he thinks about it. He's thinking about using the steps and just killing Bray right now.
And then he doesn't. Fuck it.
But then he throws Bray in the ring instead. Cena hits the ropes, crossbody by Bray Wyatt. Bray cradles Cena's head, and this time he says, "I got the whole world he's got the whole world in his hands." Cena rolls away from the senton. Attitude adjustment to Bray Wyatt. Kicked out at 2.
I have to say, this, the slow, deliberate pace of this match actually works really well with Cena's kind of limited moveset.
It does.
The psychology here, I have my quibbles with, but the pace itself, it's slow, but it doesn't feel sluggish to me. There is something going on here, and also knowing who John Cena is as a worker, I'm like, yeah, this actually fits really well.
Yeah, so I take note of there's an "if Cena wins, we Wyatt" sign.
Yeah, I took note of that too. Fucking bet. Do it.
So Harper stands over Cena as Cena's laying on the outside. Cena gets up and spears Luke Harper through the barricade. Bray gets pissed at this.
He does not take that well, no.
He attacks John, and he runs over and asks if Harper's all right. He's like, "Get up."
Yeah, Bray. I don't know why we have so many problems with Bray Wyatt. He's just a wholesome family man who's checking on his family.
Yeah,
he wants his family to be okay.
He just wants more people to be in his family. What's so wrong about that?
Absolutely, I see nothing wrong with this. He's the real face here. True.
Bray Wyatt goes for the Sister Abigail. Cena gets out of it and gets the STF. Bray gets his hand on the rope, but then out of nowhere, Sister Abigail for a 2 count.
Yes.
First person to kick out of the Sister Abigail.
That's pretty sick.
Bray collapses in the corner, stunned at the kick out. He doesn't know what to do with this. And so Bray goes over and he tears the cover off the Spanish announce table in anger.
Take a shot.
Then he goes to the timekeeper and gets a steel chair and brings.
I have to say, the timekeepers are doing a really good job, selling Bray Wyatt too. It's not uncommon that the timekeepers need to move out of the way, but they did a good job all looking actively creeped out by Bray Wyatt in a way they don't look when other people come over to fuck with their area. That was
Bray. Yeah. So Bray Wyatt gets a steel chair. He gets into the ring. The ref is like, "Hey, don't use that. What the fuck is this?" Rowan distracts the ref, and while that happens, Bray Wyatt drops the chair and kicks it over to Cena. Bray Wyatt gets on his knees and begs Cena to finish this.
And the fucking ref is yelling.
The ref is like, "It's not who you are. You don't want to do this, John. Get the fuck up, ref. Let him cook. Hold on.
Let him cook."
So John Cena, he thinks about it. He really considers it. And then he just swings the at Eric Rowan on the apron. Bray tries for a roll-up, 2 count. Bray goes for the Sister Abigail.
Abigail.
Cena hits the attitude adjustment. Cena wins.
1, 2,
LOL.
3. Like I said, they don't have the balls to tell the story that really could have been told with this angle, but like, sure. Taking it at face value, it's the superhero still has to prove the demon wrong, even though I think the demon kind of has a point. Um, um,
This,
it
oh,
was a
this
fun match
is
though.
not. This isn't the death of Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt will have so many more fumbles before that character is. But this
one I can't lay at his feet though. This is WWE creative.
Oh
Doesn't
no,
have the
I
depth
am talking
of John.
solely fumbles of WWE booking fumbles of Bray Wyatt.
Okay. Oh yeah.
This
100.
is the first big chink in the armor on this.
Yeah.
One. Because Bray needed this, I think, more than WWE thought he did. And he didn't even need to win. If Cena swings that chair at Bray Wyatt, Bray wins in a way that just pinning John doesn't even compare.
Yes. Again, they needed to tell a more fleshed out story with this. They needed to actually have Cena struggle with his darkness, and then okay, I get
and he'll overcome in the end. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's okay,
but we're not gonna turn John Cena heel. It's not gonna happen.
But on the biggest stage of them all, biggest story that Bray had ever had, he basically fails at any stated character goal.
Yes,
because correct. He tempts Cena, and Cena says no, and
Cena's
then we will do a
pretty Cena gets a little angry during the match. Oh look, Bray has
and that's
the point.
it.
Oh.
And then
fuck off.
After this, at Extreme Rules, they'll have a cage match where Cena loses because he gets creeped out by a children's choir. And then they will have a match at Payback where John Cena wins. He literally, it's the last man standing match, and he buries Bray Wyatt under an announce table. And that's it.
Okay, sure.
And Bray Wyatt will never truly be the same after this. He's not dead DOA yet. I think The Undertaker continuing to beat him senseless will be a lot worse for Bray Wyatt's general mystique.
Oh, true.
But this was the first time that they did not have any care to protect Bray Wyatt. And especially in a match where he needed it more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
On a night of the new guard beating the old guard, one new guard ain't shit.
Ain't shit. Not when he's up against John Cena, brother. That guard will never die, dude.
John Cena, celebrates his win, hugs his family. He has done it.
Sure.
Anyway, we get the Hall of Fame ceremony recap.
Yeah. I forgot that I can't remember if he'd already been announced, but this is the Hall of Fame year when Scott Hall was inducted, which is sick as fuck. Yeah.
Razor Ramon, he's got his iconic line now of,
yes.
Hard work, what's it?
Hard work pays off.
Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Yeah, because he's the bad guy. Get it? Yeah. He was awesome. That's such a good fucking line.
And then they do the bit they do every year at Mania where Howard Finkel announces the Hall of Fame class, and they all come out on the stage and wave and say hi.
And you always have your one extra special person. This year was the Ultimate Warrior, K.
Yep. After this, though, Daniel Bryan being checked backstage by the trainers.
Yes. He got that arm work.
And then
little New Orleans tourism plug from Michael Cole.
Hey, yeah, that's not bad. And then we get the Taker Lesnar video.
It's streak time. Jerry Lawler starts stripping.
Oof. They do this whole opening part of the history of the streak. No,
I have to say, we get a little flash of we get flashes of Taker throughout his career. I've really noticed here the OG Taker makeup is fucking so goofy because Mark Calloway at the very beginning of being the Undertaker, he was such a baby. He had such a fucking baby face, and they had like all the makeup strategically placed to try to make it look like he had any kind of age on his face. No, this dude in his early 20s is totally an ancient zombie mortician wizard, guys. We fucking promise.
Please. Like, could any man conquer this streak? And then Paul Heyman cuts in, is like, well, obviously the answer is no.
Dude, that's Smash
But
Cut. Also, oh wait.
Smash
Sorry,
Cut was hilarious.
a couple more lines from the first half of this I want to point out. 21 times the very best have tempted fate. Well, maybe not. It wasn't the very best every time, but sure.
In the mid-90s, they were not sending their best
Shit got
to fight
pretty.
the Undertaker.
Yeah, shit got pretty iffy there. I do have to give a shout out though to a great line of how all of the people who have lost along the history of the streak have been victims of the ultimate seduction of breaking this. That line goes pretty hard. That's a pretty fucking sick line. But yeah, then all this epic storytelling. Then smash cut. Can any man beat this monster? Smash cut to Paul Heyman. Well, no, but
have you considered a heartless monster? A beast. And he just like he hypes Brock Lesnar. It's what it is.
That was pretty fucking funny. Also a great line from him. A great line from Heyman during this. 21-1. And then the smallest number becomes the biggest. That was actually a pretty fucking sick line, I have to say.
I made note of one point the promo says the last right of a celebrated career. And right, the last, sure. That's
yeah, totally the last one. Yup.
Anyway, we get to it's time for the Brock Lesnar versus the Undertaker. Brock Lesnar's is
something I really need to like point out about Brock Lesnar here. His whole thing right now is eat, sleep, conquer, repeat. I have to say that order seems like a little wonky. Like, why are we starting at dinner time? Why are we starting this at dinner time? Why aren't we like including breakfast or lunch for that matter? Eat, sleep, conquer, repeat. So you eat dinner, you go to bed, then you wake up.
He conquers in the morning.
Either that, or he just takes like 3 naps throughout the day. So very, very important. He eats breakfast, he takes a little nappy, and then he conquers.
He doesn't conquer.
He eats lunch. Then he eats lunch. He takes a little nappy, then he does some more conquering. He eats dinner, takes a little nappy, and then he goes to bed. Then he wakes up the next morning, and then I guess does some conquering before breakfast.
Yeah,
either way. Hell of a schedule.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry. So Lesnar makes his entrance. Lesnar is the first guy to make his entrance. I'm still watching with Robbie. Robbie fucking loves The Undertaker, so I was like, Robbie, I'm watching WrestleMania 30. It's The Undertaker match. Come watch it with me. So, and of course, he was super into it.
That's a cruel thing to be telling somebody. I'll tell you that.
Well, he knew what was up. Either way, Robbie, it's Lesnar makes his entrance. He comes down to the ring. As like it's looking along the barricade, Robbie goes, "Hey, it's that guy!" And I see the green shirt guy is in the he's in the crowd. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, green shirt guy. No, he's just kind of always around." And then Robbie goes, "No, that guy." And I look, oh my god, it's the dude
Brock Lesnar
from the GIF.
Guy. Yeah,
the dude from the GIF.
That is also a guy who is always just there.
The fucking the guy from the GIF, the guy with the shirt.
Yes, that guy.
The one who's like the one whose eyes like bug out after.
Oh, we didn't talk about him yet.
Well, okay, but this is Robbie pointing him out.
That is the guy.
This poor unsuspecting man, a mere 30 minutes away from becoming fucking immortalized forever.
It's true. So the Undertaker, he comes out. Before he comes out, there is a coffin for every victim of the streak on the stage.
Yes. They do this thing where like they show a coffin, then they like flash clips of previous Taker streak
Yep.
matches, except the clips don't line up with who the victim was. So it's like
There's
it's like Razor Ramon cuts to a clip of Shawn Michaels. Like, okay,
no.
no,
But then the Undertaker comes out and they got the Gregorian chant going.
absolutely.
Taker walks out on the stage and he turns back at the casket and the casket pops open.
Yeah, there's a 20-second casket with Brock's name on it. Taker
And
looks at it and it fucking opens up and then it sets itself on fire.
he's like, okay, get in.
Yup.
Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar is kind of freaked out by this. He's like, oh,
well, okay. The Brock Lesnar's best interpretation of freaked out, which is he looks ever so slightly less in the zone than he normally does. Instead of really mean mugging, he's just kind of mean mugging. So, he's trying. Yeah, the fucking extravagant entrance curse hitting hard tonight. Oops.
Yeah, so
I will say there's a great as Taker's making his long ass walk to the ring, Justin Roberts announces like Taker's, stats, his height, weight, whatever, like mid walk, like just at the right time in the song. Like right as it hits one of the like like kind of one of its top notes, that's when he hit like fucking Justin Roberts is a goddamn goated announcer. Oh my god, I love him.
Yeah.
Also, I guess along the years, Kane taught Taker a little bit of pyromancy because Taker gets up on the ring steps and he fucking thrusts his fist down and boom, pyro goes off behind him. So I guess his brother, taught him a little bit about that whole controlling fire thing. That was nice.
Yeah, so the bell rings and Undertaker starts throwing them ham hocks. To which Michael Cole goes, Undertaker may be the greatest striker in WWE history. You sure about that, Cole? You sure about that?
The Undertaker, he said?
Yes.
Oh my
Because
god.
ever since the Undertaker did a little bit of MMA training and started wearing MMA gloves in his matches, and then suddenly they're like the greatest striker in WWE history, the Undertaker.
He didn't even do real MMA matches. He just did some training.
He did some training in MMA.
Yeah, sure.
Very quickly into the match, Brock Lesnar does a belly-to-belly suplex that dumps Undertaker on his head, to which, I'll be honest, I spent years thinking this is where the concussion happened. Apparently not.
Oh.
But he dumps Undertaker on his head, and Undertaker looks up, and he's like, whoa there. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's when the concussion happens.
Is that dumps him to the outside, or is that...
I made a note of when the concussion apparently happened.
Well, yeah, no, I know, but what I'm saying when he does that belly, is that when he dumps Taker to the outside?
No, that's just like that's like Lesnar's like third move in the match.
Okay, because like pretty quickly he does dump Taker to the outside, and Taker also gives him a sort of what the hell look, of like I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, there, yeah. They just go back and forth with each other for a little bit here.
The battle of the MMA gloves.
Oh hell yeah! Taker hits the apron leg drop there, and then he has snake eyes in the corner.
A lot of keeping each other in corners here.
Yeah, there's a lot of corner fighting. He goozles Brock for the choke slam, but Brock dodges. He goes for the F5. Taker gets out of it. Taker goes for the big boot, and Brock Lesnar ducks, and Taker's got his leg. He's like, oh, God. So here is where things go off the rails. So Brock Lesnar throws Taker's leg into the ring post. And so they're fighting on the outside.
Yes.
Taker gets his leg up to boot Brock. Brock grapples him. And not only that, he kind of wraps up Undertaker, so like his whole body is kind of smushed together in a ball.
Yes.
And then Brock dumps Taker on the concrete floor. This is apparently where the concussion happened. This match is pretty infamous for honestly being a tad underwhelming. And a part of that is from the fact that pretty early in the match, Undertaker got a concussion. In fact, it was
Bigly
so
concussed.
severe of a concussion that according to Undertaker, he actually has no memory of this day from about 3:30 p.m. to about 4 a.m. He actually doesn't remember any of this day that this happened because of how bad a concussion he had. And he would proceed to, and Undertaker would work the next 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
As normal with a severe concussion.
See, I've heard about the concussion thing before. I completely forgot it. So everything that followed I thought was totally intentional.
I mean, it plays in really well with what they're doing.
It does
with this
play
match,
in.
but also at the same time, how much of it was intentionally how they were going to do this match to begin with?
Yeah, that's
we can't
fair.
know.
Who's to say? Who's to say, right?
Because Brock figures it out and is like, okay. And this match very quickly becomes Brock punching a barely conscious, barely standing Undertaker.
Well, excuse you, punching and stomping. Let's be
there's a very long sequence of this match that is just Brock Lesnar beating the Undertaker.
Beats up an old man. Also, something I want to point out about Brock Lesnar, I've never really noticed about him before. Brock Lesnar, like when he steps in the ring, is like tomato red up top. Like my man is the blood is circulating, but then you go down below, and his legs are just, I think, the whitest thing I've ever seen.
Brock Lesnar skips all leg days. He is the
it's
most,
not even leg. Well, yeah, he has like weirdly.
He's got white ass chicken legs.
White ass chicken. He skips leg building day. He skips leg tanning day. All of the days for the legs. He doesn't care. Who needs legs, brother, when you got a fucking top half like he does? Yeah, so that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, so like I literally my next note is just Jesus, Brock Lesnar is just destroying this man.
Yeah, this became a snuff film for a second.
Oh my god, it's wild. It's just a lot of that. At one point, Lesnar throws Taker into the ropes, but Taker's able to counter it with a DDT. Although Taker, again, this might be a side effect of the fucking concussion. Taker looks more like taken out by this than Brock did.
Yeah.
But he kind of stumbles to the corner. Brock goes to try to like splash him, but Taker sticks his boot out and counters it.
Yeah, Taker does the snake eyes and the big boot. Leg drop to Brock for a 2 count. Taker goes for a choke slam.
What? This is like charged finisher ass. Like he
hits the choke slam.
He's waiting
for a 2 count. Taker tries for the tombstone, and notably, Undertaker only does 1 tombstone in this match, and it looks like total shit. This feels like one of those, the concussion changed how this goes.
Match. 100%.
So Taker tries for a tombstone. Lesnar counters with an F5, kick out by Undertaker. One F5.
Heyman is like losing his mind on the outside. You've got him right where you want him. Drink some water, buddy.
Finish him. But Lesnar leans down on Taker, and Taker just grapples him in the Hell's Gate, which is a triangle choke. Which, yes, he learned that move when he started doing MMA training.
Look at that.
He's got to get a triangle submission.
Well, yeah, because fucking commentary is talking about it like it's this super established part of his arsenal, and I'm like,
which it is, but it's also like his 3rd best finisher.
Yeah.
4th even, depending on how you're... Honestly, it's like Tombstone, Last Ride, arguably the chokeslam is above Hell's Gate on this.
Absolutely. I will say, again, gotta put the caveat for everything I say with this fucking match. Don't know how intentional this was, but at least the way this played, it kind of creates this great story of like Taker almost like maybe playing possum and baiting Lesnar into vulnerable spots and then taking advantage. Like he baited Lesnar, and commentary helped promote this too. Like when he was in the corner and Lesnar tried to splash him, and then he got the big boot up. JBL on commentary is like, oh, maybe he was playing possum a little bit, and then it was a similar thing here of like Taker's flailing on the ground, but then like gets like a possum a possum Hell's Gate on Lesnar
But
here.
then I think JBL also makes a decent point of like, sure, this could be a possum thing, or maybe this is all Taker can do. Like he can't get up. This is the only thing he can do is just wait for Lesnar to walk over to him, and then he gets in the Hell's Gate.
Yeah,
Hell,
it's combining smarts with desperation.
They do it twice in a row to the point where I asked myself, did Taker forget the next spot? Actually, because they do it. He gets in Hell's Gate for a while. And then Brock Lesnar does the pickup, like the same thing with Sheamus did with the pile drive, with the arm bar. He just picks up Taker, slams him, and gets him to drop the hole. And then
why it's so good, I think I'll have it a second
Lesnar
time.
drags Undertaker to the middle of the ring, and then Undertaker locks in Hell's Gate again, and then Lesnar breaks out of it the exact same way again.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I was wondering why they did that just twice in a row, but okay.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, maybe they did intend to do it that way, but it's one of those things where it's like, knowing that Taker had a super severe concussion in this match, it makes me wonder, like, did he legitimately forget what to do next, and he had to redo it? So Undertaker crawls over to Lesnar. Lesnar locks in the Kimura lock. That's been Lesnar's new thing since he came back from doing MMA. Everyone learns MMA and starts doing submissions.
Absolutely.
Taker works his way out of the armbar to put Lesnar in an armbar. Lesnar even manages to knock Taker down on the ground, and Taker's still holding it in.
That was sick as hell. But then Taker goes for the old school. I saw him wrench the arm, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah, Taker.
Someone finally did it.
Yeah. He and Brock both get up. He wrenches Brock's arm back. He goes for the old school, which is literally like old school Taker. Like Mark Calloway used to be like a freaky fucking high flyer for a dude his size.
Old school is he holds his opponent's hand while he tightrope.
Well, he does a tightrope walk, which I need to emphasize. This is a gigantic man.
Undertaker is 7 feet tall.
Yes. He makes it's not as much as someone like Big Show or Khali or the Satnam Singhs of the modern day, but like next to the Undertaker,
he is too big of a dude to be doing this shit.
And next to him, normal people look like toy people. So this is very much like this sick thing, except Brock Lesnar pulls him down from the top rope into an F5, which is fucking manages to, in one fluid motion, pull him so that he lands across Lesnar's shoulders.
Yeah.
And then he goes into the F5, but kick out at 2. Taker's still going.
Heyman's kicking up a fit here. Undertaker crawls to the ropes. Lesnar grabs him and hits the world's flattest and slowest German suplexes.
I know.
Most German suplexes, for people who don't know this, you're basically like, you're grabbing someone at from behind them and suplexing them over your head. And most German suplexes have a pretty hefty arc to them, mostly because it looks more dangerous that way, because it looks closer to dropping someone on their head, but also makes it easier to land on your shoulders. Take that and take the move that way. These there is no arc to these German suplexes. Undertaker just goes flat back. And it's like,
100 fucking %.
I don't think it feels like Lesnar had to sandbag Undertaker and just do it. Like, I don't know how capable Undertaker would have been in his best mind to be able to help with these moves, but it definitely looks as if Lesnar had to do all the work himself.
Lesnar was doing all of the work. Yeah, he tries to take Taker to Suplex City, but
it kind of looks like
escapes. He kind of escapes. Lesnar's in the corner with Brock. Or Lesnar's in the corner with Heyman. Heyman is screaming, 21-1, and you are the one! You're gonna let him deprive you of this? He wants to take that away from you! You're Brock Lesnar! So Heyman's just
Brock Lesnar gets up on the second rope to punch down on Taker. Taker hits the last ride.
Taker counters in the last ride.
Undertaker is up. He's woozy. but he's going
Yeah,
for
he
the
looks so
tombstone.
worn
He
down. He
gets
goes
it. It is this is the worst tombstone I've ever seen him do. First
Oh
of
my
all,
god.
he doesn't even have the ability to get Brock in position right, because normally how you do a tombstone pile driver is you get the opponent's legs crossed over onto your shoulders so that your head is between their legs.
Yeah.
And I assume that is a safety reason for that.
Yeah,
Or maybe
so
it just looks
the person's
better.
body straight up and down, it looks
Maybe
better.
it's, but take Brock's legs are both just over one shoulder for Taker, and then Taker, he does not come even close to the ground when
No.
he tombstones
No.
Brock. Normally, he's a lot better at making it look a little more like he dropped the guy on his head, but he did
Yeah.
not. And
No.
kick out by Lesnar.
Paul
Undertaker
Heyman has
sits
a
him.
Grinch-ass smile spread across his
Yeah,
slimy fucking face. That's
but
awesome.
Undertaker sits up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the sit-up spot.
He does the throat slash, and he's going for another tombstone.
Yup.
Brock reverses into the pile driver position. He lifts Taker on his shoulders, and I think the best note here is the note I made 10 years ago watching this show. He's going to kick out of 3 F5s. That seems a bit excessive.
See, I thought he was gonna go down when he got when he got hit with the F5 coming out of the old school. I thought that was gonna be the end of it. So when it was the third one, I was like, oh, this is done.
I mentioned in the front half that I don't remember it. I don't have a lot of like super specific memories of watching this show. I was just on my futon in my dorm room watching the show with headphones in, nothing like unique or interesting. But I distinctly remember my thought process of the next 30 seconds of show. Sitting there watching it. I see him go for the F5, and I'm like, damn, he's going to kick out of 3 F5s. That seems like a lot.
That's a lot.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, fucking what this was for you, knowing that you did not expect this to happen.
I never hated it more that I was kind of forced to like just sit in my room and be quiet in watching a wrestling show than having to sit there and watch the streak be broken. I didn't even consider it would happen. I was just like, all right, he's going to kick out. One more tombstone, bada bing, bada boom, we're done. And then he loses, and I was just sitting there in stun. I was stunned. I couldn't process what I was even seeing in that moment.
That's so insane.
I looked like all the people in the crowd.
Yes.
When the streak
oh my god.
was broken.
Yeah. It's funny too, because you look at it, and in retrospect, the way they're playing it, it's so obvious.
It does, like the way,
especially that video
that
package.
the entrance of him having all the coffins
focus explicitly on the streak. Like, come on.
Like, they played up the history of the streak so much that it makes so much sense that this was it in retrospect, right? Like most streak, they don't do that. They bring up it's a big number go up, and remember all of the guys that Taker has beaten, right? But this like history lesson of the streak, they've never done that before.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that maybe it makes it a lot more obvious what they're about to do.
And it's like, I guess
because this is the last time they will ever get to do it.
Yeah. But like, I guess too, like, it's a little bit sneaky, like being WrestleMania's sex number. They are focused on like, all right, 30 years of WrestleMania. We're really focused in on the history of WrestleMania. So like, I get it from that angle, but also like, dear fucking Lord, the way they're like, it's the streak. Hey guys, you know the whole streak? Isn't this they've
been like that. They've been like that for like a decade.
Well, yeah.
Like that part of it has become a thing for a while. But like,
yeah, but
explicit like seeing the numerical order of every one of his victims, like that's never happened before.
Yeah, that was like the way how hard they leaned into that. But again, like I get why, like in the moment, because it was kind of like unthinkable, right? Like people
Mhm.
couldn't imagine. And you can tell
Like
we get
people
the
like
guy, we get the gif. Yeah, the eyes bug out, the jaw drops. For the record, green shirt guy looks thrilled by this.
yeah.
He's like the one
Like
person in the crowd I saw smiling.
yeah, maybe he's the dude who said you suck later.
Real, yeah,
Um
yeah, real fucking Brock Lesnar mark out here.
anyway, yeah, like I think most, like I said, a lot of people didn't really think it was going to be Brock. You know, his return run had been pretty meh up to this point.
Yeah,
That's 3 straight pay-per-view matches with Triple H will do that for you.
that's
Um, and yeah, people just kind of assumed this was another, like, if Undertaker was going to lose, it would be to someone really new, or it would be someone he had a lot of history with. Or some people thought he was going to retire with it. Like, there was fantasy booking of like, he has one last match with Kane and they both retire off of that match.
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have been the best choice, but it would have, I get it. And it would
Yeah,
have, and it was one of the more popular thoughts out there. Just like the idea that Lesnar was going to be the guy to do it didn't really come up a lot. At least when I was reading on the interwebs. And so, yeah, it was a shocking moment. And I think WWE, give them credit, they played that really well. And
really,
like,
really well.
because like nobody knows what they're seeing. The bell didn't ring. The music isn't playing. It's almost as if absolutely no one thought this is what was going to happen.
Yep.
It's the graphic isn't there yet. The announcers haven't said anything. It's almost as if all of WWE production was like, yeah, and then Undertaker will win. All right, we can pre-prep all the important stuff later. Wait, he lost? Shit.
Oh my
Where's
god.
Brock's music file? Where's the
Fuck, fuck, fuck,
MP3?
fuck. Yeah, the poor beleaguered sound guy in the back having to like fuck, fuck, fuck.
And the graphics design team quickly has to edit 22-0 to say
Quickly.
21-1.
Yeah.
Like
Delete, delete, delete.
Yeah, they sell the shock of the moment.
Really well.
And Paul Heyman is stunned that some part of him didn't even think, even he did on some level didn't think Brock was actually going to do it.
Paul Heyman's like fanboying. It's insane.
Then Justin Roberts announces Brock as the winner. And then dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
I wrote the crowd is stunned / mildly restless.
Yeah.
The
And
crowd
some
is
legitimately emotional.
Yeah, it's like stunned to silence, kind of grumbly in some areas. It's just they got the whole kind of emotional range on this.
Yeah.
So many crowd shots to people of stunned face. Undertaker guy is the biggest one, but they got a lot of like
They got a
people.
lot. And as Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar start making their way up the ramp, Michael Cole, with every ounce of solemnity in his voice, just says, "The Undertaker's mortal." Holy fuck!
JBL goes, I guess fairy tales do end.
Oh my god, that shit. I missed that one, but the Undertaker's mortal is that is a line that is a once in a lifetime line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Wow.
Like
Uh
Undertaker is still laying dead in the ring. Under Brock and Heyman, only after they leave does Taker sit up, and Taker struggles.
he goes for the sit up. He struggles. He kind of like has to twist a little bit, but he makes it up and then falls back down.
It takes him
again.
genuinely like 5 minutes to get back on his feet. Right?
Again,
like he's
part of this
constantly
is probably concussion related.
Some kayfabe on this one, as he's like,
but he hits the sit up one more time, and it's
thank you, Taker, chance start, Undertaker, chance start. I
Um,
wrote, a chef's kiss to one of the cooler shots of this. Undertaker is struggling to sit up. He's on his knees, and in the foreground and like in the background is 21-1. As
yup.
he just looks on his knees, despondent as what has just happened.
Like you said earlier, some dumbass in the crowd
One
yells,
dude just goes,
"Suck,
"You
fuck,
suck!"
fuck you, fuck you."
The entire announce table, all three of them, stand up and give a standing ovation.
They're all clapping in unison, which is slightly creepy, but like,
Well, I also noticed that.
yeah.
It legit takes Undertaker like 5 minutes to get up.
Taker, again, some of it's concussion related, but also he is, if any of this is on purpose, he's selling this really well. There's a legit emotion shared between him, the crew, and the audience. Fuck, I'll admit, I even felt a little bit emotional watching this. Like, this is even, this is 9 years old at this point. I've known the punchline for a long time. And yet actually watching it and seeing this era and seeing the immaculate streak be broken, one of the constants in the WWE be cast to the wayside, melted away before my eyes, is genuinely like affecting. And I was like, holy shit, this actually happened. This isn't just a thing to like hear about in listicles and like recap stories. This is an actual thing. I watched this. The end of an era. Holy fuck. A chef's kiss shot, real quick, I wanted to point out is when Taker finally does stand up, he stands against kind of like with a hand on the rope in the middle of the ring, like horizontally in the middle of the ring anyway. Um and the hard cam just slowly starts to zoom out to this entire arena doused in Taker's like navy blue lighting. Like fucking the crowd showering him in thunderous applause. Taker is all alone in that ring and yet surrounded by thousands. And there he is accepting his defeat.
Great line from Michael Cole. Congratulations to Brock Lesnar, but ultimate respect to The Undertaker.
Yes. Also, like, fuck. Taker's so Taker starts to make his exit. His theme music hits again. I gotta say, his theme music makes for just as great finale music as it does like entrance music. Something about it feels like sort of a grand finale. It has, this ambiance to it it's slow, it's melancholy, but it's still grand and epic.
9 years later, Lesnar being the guy. I'm kind of mixed on it.
Really?
I think the Undertaker, the guy being the guy to beat the Undertaker was always one of those like hotly debated options. Like it's one of those like your legacy will be defined by this.
Yeah.
Kind of a moments in wrestling. And as such, it's always been kind of hotly debated how this was going to happen, if it was going to happen at all. Because a lot of people I remember a lot of people assuming it would kind of be instant heat forever to be that guy. And to Brock did hold on to that heat for a while.
Yeah.
It not forever. He eventually was able to kind of work his way back being a babyface. It's not shocking. But, I get the concerns of like, are you ready to commit to being a top heel forever, like for a really long time if you do this?
Yeah.
I kind of do hate it went to a part-timer a little bit. A lot of the biggest heat for it went to fucking Heyman.
Yeah.
Heyman with the fact reminding everyone that Lesnar did this. And especially because Lesnar really transitioned to a character kind of badass and cool. Like his next match will be murderizing John Cena, and then at WrestleMania he's gonna murderize Roman Reigns and be like Suplex City, bitch. And suddenly Lesnar's kind of cool actually. So
yeah,
the heat doesn't even last much. You honestly didn't do a lot with it.
That's fair.
At the same time, I don't know who I would to if I had the option to. I don't make now in my ultimate dream world, probably Bray Wyatt, but
Yep, that's what I was
let's be
going to say.
realistic.
Bray Wyatt.
Let's be realistic
Well, yeah,
about what
but, like,
WWE would actually want to do.
well, okay, sure, but like I feel like to be fair, Brock Lesnar is the most realistic option of what WWE would do. If not like maybe John Cena, but that, that is a little too much. I think Bray Wyatt would have been the best choice narratively, passing the torch, as it were.
It's a thing where like Brock Lesnar he needed, but also they booked such shit he kind of did. Looking at Brock Lesnar as a talent,
did legitimize his
credentials. He doesn't need to be the guy. But at the same time, acts the John Cena, and then he has an extended fucking H, and then I forget who wins between. We have talked about that SummerSlam 2013 match multiple times, and every time I forget if Brock Lesnar won or not. I'm gonna look this up, but this is legitimately annoying to me. Is that I can't ever remember. It beat Brock Lesnar or not. And
it would make sense for Punk to lose it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Whoa. Oh no. Oh dear. Well, dear audience, it is just you and I. Hello. Anyway, it would make sense for Brock Lesnar to beat CM Punk, for them to make CM Punk lose, but who's to say, really? Now, for my own there you are.
Continuing my thoughts by myself.
You were looking up the Punk match result.
Yeah, Lesnar did beat Punk.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I think Lesnar needed credibility like this of some sort. You know, the initial hype of him coming off of being back from MMA was pretty done by this. He loses to Cena and then the Triple H feud, and then he looked a little too mortal by this point. And from the long-term plans of him, I get it. You know, they were ultimately building a monster for Roman Reigns to beat.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And for that, I get it.
And also, like, he is the MMA guy. Like, they kind of did push him as the single most legitimate fighter here. So, like, from that level, it makes sense, too.
It's a thing that makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to not use my opinions on Brock Lesnar post-Undertaker to color my opinion of whether it was a good idea for him to beat Undertaker at all. Because I don't think that's fair. No, that they could have booked it better.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have been fine. He's thinking Brock Lesnar is a boring character. Does not really impact whether or not it was a good idea to have him beat Undertaker at the time.
Disrespectful ways to his fellow wrestlers. Anyway.
So, the story's over. Rightly or wrongly, this we're here now.
Yep.
And
should have been Bray
the
Wyatt.
Crowd will be kind of different the rest of the show.
Kind of.
And I'll bring up some remarks I thought of in the main event when we get there. But it's time for WrestleMania play button.
Oh, yeah.
WWE is starting with WrestleMania 31 will be on not putting the number in the title in the logo anymore.
Sure.
So this is WrestleMania play button because the logo is a play button, and they're going to be in California at SoFi Stadium.
Oh, they were advertising. See, I skipped this because I assumed it was them hawking the fucking network.
No,
Okay.
This is them hawking next year's WrestleMania.
Oh, well, shit. WrestleMania play button. Look, how do you do, fellow kids? We know YouTube.
Yeah, and then I wrote WrestleMania making me enjoy Kid Rock song because the one who does the Celebrate song we've been celebrating up this time. Time for the Vicky Guerrero Divas Championship Invitational. AJ Lee stands alone and is the only person to get an entrance in the match. Is already in the ring. This is the first time the Divas title has ever been defended at WrestleMania. It will also be the last time.
The only time? That's hilarious.
Yeah, next year it will be AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins in a tag match. And at WrestleMania 32, it will be Sasha versus Charlotte versus Becky in a triple threat match to crown the new women's champion of WWE.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, now obviously the women's title has been defended at Mania across its history, but the Divas belt, which was originally the secondary women's belt, and then fused the belt together, so there's only one women's butterfly belt, had never been defended at Mania before.
That's wild. I actually didn't know it was a secondary belt at first. I just assumed it became the new. Interesting.
No, at one point in time, there was a women's title and a Divas title.
That's fucked up. But yeah, so...
Then, Vicky Guerrero, good luck, but especially AJ. Honestly, this is for what it is. I mean, it's the spotting fest.
Perfect match to put after the
arena. Fuckity do. This is a fuckity do spot fest arena.
Yeah,
they're just doing spots after spots after spots because there's like him in this match. It's piss break, calm down match they needed because the Undertaker's streak was just broken. We're all a little bit depressed right now, and we can't go straight to the main. So it's a fun enough match, and against all odds, AJ Lee locks in the Black Widow on Naomi and gets the win. It was one fall to a
somehow
match.
AJ Lee is still... Yeah, we can't have the bitches who aren't on Total Divas win anything, but AJ Lee, who is not on Total Divas, can still be the Divas champ. Sure. I guess. Fine.
Don't worry. The next night on Raw, as I witnessed from my dorm room, basement, laundry room, Paige will debut off of NXT and beat AJ for the Divas title on her first night on Raw.
They couldn't have just put her in the main... Whatever.
Vicky is pissed, and AJ makes Vicky give her the title belt back. And backstage, we do a bit. We do a skit.
Oh my god.
With Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing.
Mean Gene is here, yeah, holy shit.
Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff.
I think you mean Paul Orndorff, brother.
Sure, Hogan.
Hogan consistently pronounces his name Orndorff, and I don't get it.
Orndorff. So Roddy Piper is like, we got beef with Hogan more than Paul does. And he gives the mic to Orndorff. And Orndorff is like, every day, every week, for the last years, people have been telling me I lost the WrestleMania. And so Orndorff is here to like get his revenge. Roddy Piper, it was funny because Roddy Piper was like, you beat us at Mania. Well, more like we didn't beat me.
Yeah,
Roddy
that was funny.
Put over Hulk Hogan, and Mike never will.
Based. Based.
And Orndorff and Piper are about to start and then Mr. T shows up. He's like, I pity the fool.
He pities the fool.
And
And then
tries to force them all. Hogan tries. Hulk is like, I think we should just bury the hatchet and shake, dude.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan isn't so sure about his chances on this one. We should just bury the hatchet, brother.
Orndorff and Roddy Piper are under the most duress. Go for it. They shake hands.
Well, fucking Pat Patterson shows up in like the old school ref uniform, and then and breaks him up.
It's like a referee because he did duties back then, and he's like, "Come on, get over it. It's been 30
but
years."
like an '80s, a golden age ref. So like the blue short sleeve button up and the black bow tie.
Yeah, he was probably ref. Like he was the referee.
He might have been
maybe a one. So I correct myself. One time right here, Roddy Piper put over Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah. He's like vibrating. And like when Roddy shakes hands with Hulk, he like breaks down crying, and Hulk pulls him in like, oh brother, it's okay, dude. Everyone's got to put over the Hulkster eventually, brother. We cut to
Roddy Piper is literally
yeah.
Hello, we are back a second time now. We tried to record this. Well, I was in a hotel for traveling for work, and we had so many technical difficulties we couldn't even finish the fucking episode. So we're back to discuss the main event of WrestleMania 30.
Fuck yes.
So first thing that stood out to me though, live performance of Voices by
yeah. Oh, well first of all, we got to point out they have the legends in the crowd. Bruno Sammartino, Harley Race, Bob Backlund, Dusty Rhodes, and Bret Hart are all here at ringside. That's neat.
They're all here. None of them wanted to do a skit with WWE toys. So
yeah,
here they are.
They all look utterly thrilled. The singers of Orton's theme are here to proclaim how doomed he is. I hear voices in my head. They say to me, "You're gonna lose." They talk to me.
They talk to me.
They talk to me. Yeah,
those are the voices of the bookers.
True. I love that shit.
As Batista was coming out, I was envisioning a world where they don't fix the main event of this show, and so The Undertaker loses to Brock Lesnar, and the crowd has to then watch Randy Orton versus Dave Batista.
Dude, just imagine, like, WrestleMania sex number would have gone from, like, people's best list to people's worst lists. Like,
it would have fucking... The whole show would have tanked the rankings for this.
Yeah, it would have been so fucked. One thing, going back to Orton's entrance real quick. Okay, I've never really thought to, like, put words to this before. What the fuck is Orton's, like, pose? He gets up on, like, on the turnbuckle, and he does this. And it looks simultaneously like he's, like, trying too hard to shrug, but also, like, not trying nearly hard enough to, like, shrug.
I have no idea what that's about.
He's like,
it's just what he does.
Who sells it? He's like, yeah, I'm Randy. Okay.
Randy,
yes,
that's all I got.
As Batista's making his entrance, we are the Bootista signs have returned.
I also noted the Bootista.
I was saying Bootista. Never gets old. Never fucking gets old.
Yeah. And then Daniel Bryan
just
selling
say yes,
that
sir.
arm.
I gotta say, we get a shot of like just say yes shirt guy again. My man is not he's like going ham when Daniel Bryan makes it. He is not here to see another one of his fucking heroes lose.
Bruh, if Daniel Bryan had lost, that guy would have been despondent.
I think Just Say Yes Shirt Guy would have just like exploded. I think he would have just spontaneous combustion. We would have discovered it that evening.
Yeah.
On live pay-per-view.
But Daniel Bryan
I have to say, Daniel Bryan makes his entrance. Daniel Bryan is back out here again, entering a match that he was not expected to be in with an injury to his right arm. This seems familiar. Because at All Out 2023, he faced Ricky Starks in a match he was not expected to be in with an injury to his right arm.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That also, fun fact, that is going to be me on my 2-show day for Avenue Q. Oh, baby. 4 hours of
just an injured arm.
Yeah, 4 hours of puppeteering, motherfucker. It's going to be the worst. So here was something that was really funny. Something I noticed watching the play on Peacock was that it kept blacking out at random spots and then coming as if it was going to commercial, but then coming right back at the exact same spot. And I realized partway through, oh shit, that's for the people who have Peacock with advertisements.
Yeah.
So I found
that's for poor people who don't have Peacock Premium.
So on commentary, they hawk the network and talk about back then it was only $9.99 a month. And it's right then that the fucking Peacock blacks out again, reminding you of how much it sucks to be a pleb who only watches Peacock for $5.99 a month.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good time for me to say is because it never happened. It didn't happen yet. I guess they got really desperate to sell the network as time went on after it completely bombed all projections.
Baby.
They would start to try to sell the network. They'd bring up the $9.99 a month to watch the pay-per-view. And they'd basically be like, what kind of fucking idiot is buying $59.99 pay-per-views when you could get the WWE network?
Oh no. That's the choice to do that is so interesting to me.
I mean, some of it is, some places don't have the internet for the network, for the network, good streaming. It's a topic of discussion, but I just love that they got so desperate they were insulting part of their customer base to get the people to buy the network.
Dipshits, give us less money.
Yeah, what kind of fucking idiot pays $59.99 when they can pay $9.99?
The math there does check out because it's either way we're doing monthly pay-per-views, so you're either paying $60 a month plus whatever the fuck your cable bill is to watch shit, or you're paying $9.99 a month to watch all of the shit. The math here is pretty obvious.
The network changed the math forever. People have become more resistant to the cost of pay-per-views because of the network.
Yep.
It's a common refrain when we talk about Impact, ROH, and AEW's pay-per-view models. Is people are people are less willing to pay $50 pay-per-views on a regular basis now because they've gotten used to WWE giving more for less. This is undercutting the market, as we call that.
Because they quickly cheapened the price of the pay-per-view, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's like WWE could afford to take the hit they took to do that. Other companies can't. That's
for them now. Is it 30?
I think their pay-per-views are still 60. They're just so small. I don't think they've cheapened their own pay-per-view prices. It's such a small percentage.
Everyone just goes for Peacock at that point.
Right. They still get a few thousand pay-per-view buys a month, but it's negligible at this point.
$44.95 in the US for a pay-per-view event. WrestleMania is $60.
Okay. but yeah, like other companies have to deal with this problem of like, look, we can't afford to not sell our shows at this price point. And people always say, what if they sold them cheaper? They would have more, they would get more buys. And yes, but the economics of that pretty much have never worked out. Like, it would be nice, but the economics of like, what if I dropped the pay-per-view price? That has pretty much never in the history of pay-per-view led to more buys at a lower rate to the point where it's more the economic incentives are to drop the price. Like,
and yet they also have the network where you can just watch the pay-per-views for $10 a month.
Right. Economically, pay-per-views are pretty much at the price point they have to be at to be the most profitable.
But then also the network is there to fuck everything up anyway.
Be like, fuck you, it's $9.99. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Like I said,
what kind of idiot?
Undercutting the market for other companies who can't just make a streaming service or get on one and offer, some companies can be on national TV for years, partnered with a TV network with a popular streaming service and not be on the streaming service. Not calling out anything in particular. Pain.
It's someday AEW is going to get that streaming deal. It's going to happen someday.
Anyway, back to the match 2014.
Yes.
The match. Now that we've got that out of the way.
Yes.
The match, Daniel Bryan kind of starts hot. Daniel Bryan wrestles this really smart in
100%
psychology here of like,
AKA,
I gotta go fast.
Legs. Gotta go fast and use my legs exclusively.
Kicks only.
Kicks only, pal. Yeah, immediate running drop kick from Daniel Bryan. Batista lunges for him. Daniel Bryan counters and throws him to the outside. Randy Orton, in turn, gets Daniel Bryan to the outside.
Daniel Bryan, Orton starts attacking the injured arm. And a lot of this match is Batista v. Orton 1v1 while Daniel Bryan sells injured on the ground.
It's so fascinating the way they built this. Because Orton then grabs Batista, brings him back inside the ring, and hits a backbreaker. Daniel Bryan, I think, has like returned to the inside of the ring, and Randy Orton
tries to get back. He tries to get back in the ring. Orton runs over, pushes him off the apron, and goes back.
Back off again. Yeah, and then Batista proceeds to throw Orton to the outside of the ring because we can't keep it in the ring for more than 30 seconds, folks.
No,
all right?
Man. Batista is sending Orton head first into the announce table. He throws him in the barricade. And then Orton's fighting back with headbutts, uppercuts. He whips Batista into the steps. And then so Batista gets up. Batista deconstructs the stairs. And he tries to Batista bomb Orton onto the steel steps, like the first layer. But then Orton counters with a back body drop. And then Orton grabs Bryan and dumps him elbow first onto the barricade. And then he goes back over to fight Batista some more.
Yeah, so this is kind of the pattern of the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Funniest part is Orton, after he gets Batista off the stairs, Orton goes onto the stairs and he hits the pose. He hits the pose on the steps.
I forgot about that part. The pattern early on in this match, like you said, Daniel Bryan Batista and Randy Orton are taking turns just fucking murderizing Daniel Bryan, doing everything to keep him out of commission so that they could have the 1v1 match they were supposed to have at Mania. So it is this really interesting story beat of them like it's almost like a pride thing for them of them holding on for dear life to this original version of the match while swatting at the pest that is Daniel Bryan.
I thought this while I was watching the match. I feel like it goes really well with like the meta narrative of this storyline has always been about how WWE had to be pulled kicking and screaming to actually put Daniel Bryan in this spot. And to the very end, to the actual match itself, it still feels like WWE doesn't want to give him the fucking moment because
I know.
we take him out of the match constantly so we can have Orton versus Batista. That's what the people wanted, right?
That's what the people wanted. Vince is not mad. Vince is not mad. Let the record show, folks. Vince is not fucking mad.
So the thing I noted is when Orton did his he's just stomp around the world bit to guys where he stomps on their each leg and arm individually. JBL called this out as Ronnie Garvin's move, and I was like, holy shit, I know that now because we've watched some Ronnie Garvin matches at this point, and he did the move in the match. I'm hey, I did know that, JBL.
Hey, I completely forgot about that, but yes.
Yeah. But then Orton is trying to picking up Batista. Missile drop kick out of nowhere by Daniel Bryan.
Oh, fuck yes.
Daniel Bryan starts doing the yes kicks to Orton and Batista simultaneously.
Oh, yeah.
He goes back and forth. It was really cool.
Fuck. When did that happen? We're I'm trying to find where that is in my notes.
It was early mid part of the match.
Early mid.
We haven't gotten into authority bullshit yet.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's see. What else do we got? We have we had a really interesting note from commentary. That Orton has, because of the Daniel Bryan meta narrative and because of Batista's involvement in that, Orton has ironically kind of become an afterthought in this equation, despite being the first ever world heavyweight champion. Which is an interesting story beat to add to it of Orton was kind of the catalyst for all of this kicking off. And
here in the finale, he is the least important person.
Yeah, seriously. He is there's always they actually didn't really talk about this on commentary all that much, but there is this narrative that comes up a lot with triple threat matches or even fatal four-way matches where the champion is not the one who needs to get pinned in order to lose. The champion can lose his belt by simply not being there for the pin at all.
And the thing is, they bring this up, but I will say is that mathematically, most of the time, the champion does end up being the one that gets pinned. I don't have the numbers hard on me right now for that. But I will say as an observer, as a viewer, it feels like they say that just as a way to add tension. It doesn't really play into anything most of the time. It usually ends with the champion still taking the loss.
Yes, correct. But it does kind of create this interesting added psychology for Randy Orton of another reason why he's trying to keep Daniel Bryan out of this match. This is him reclaiming his fucking dignity.
It's he realizes what about me?
What about me? So there's an extra level of added spite for him too on that front. There was this great moment. You might have mentioned the so something I want to mention about the Daniel Bryan drop kick into the alternating yes kicks is that we're focused on Daniel Bryan and Batista in the ring, and
Orton and Batista,
that's what I meant. Orton and Batista in the ring. Daniel Bryan comes flying out of nowhere. We do not see him climbing up on the turnbuckle to do this drop kick. That was which sometimes can be a very lame thing for a camera to miss. Come on, motherfucker, show what's going on. But in this case, it was that is perfectly thematic of Daniel Bryan literally out of nowhere. We, the TV viewing audience, did not see this coming. That was a special thing that we got that the live audience didn't get to experience. But yeah, so alternating yes kicks to both men, but Randy Orton counters it before Daniel Bryan's able to hit the very last yes kick on him.
Yeah, they start kind of doing, they do some moves on each other and break up each other's pins. Orton pins Bryan, Batista breaks it up. Batista pins Orton, Bryan breaks it up. Bryan gets Batista and Orton opposite corners, and he does alternating drop kicks to each other back and forth.
Something I want to point out too, I noticed he was very deliberately avoiding landing on the injured right shoulder, which The amount of fucking
psychology.
Well, and also the amount of fucking body control it takes to like get yourself in a like position where you're dropping onto a specific like shoulder. Jesus Christ, Daniel Bryan's a fucking master in the ring. Holy shit.
He is.
Also, sidebar, commentary wants to let us know that hashtag thank you Taker is trending on Twitter. Very cute.
So Batista tosses Bryan over to ringside.
Backwards. Over
he just
the rope.
Chucks him over there. Then Batista goes to the top
rope.
And
in this case, Daniel Bryan does land on the shoulder.
Yep.
Again, fucking, oh my God.
But Batista to the top rope. But Orton gets him in a superplex. Waka waka. But then, out of nowhere again, Bryan hits the diving headbutt.
Yes. And then a fucking yes lock onto Orton.
He scooches over to Orton to get in the yes lock. And out comes Stephanie and Triple H.
They had to get their licks in one last time.
Triple H beats up Mike Chioda. And then, while all this shit is happening, Batista gets back in the ring and he hits the spine buster on Bryan. And he goes setting up for the Batista bomb. But then they bring in Scott fucking Armstrong. Now this might be might be a forgotten beat a little bit here. They do explain it on commentary, but it's been a long time since we've covered that part on the podcast. But back at Night of Champions 2013, they did a whole story where Daniel beat Orton, but Scott Armstrong did a fast count. And then the next night on Raw, the Authority stripped Bryan of the belt because of the fast count and created a whole fake conspiracy that Scott Armstrong and Daniel Bryan had conspired to screw Orton. And in fact, we learned later in the night that Scott Armstrong was in the pocket of the Authority, so it was all a setup. So that's you got Michael Cole screaming that they bring back that crooked referee Scott Armstrong. The fix is in, boys.
Yeah, that was a deep cut for me. I'll be honest, I did completely forget about that angle, but I was like, okay, so they commentary did a decent enough job explaining of like, oh, okay, he's in Triple H's like pocket. Cool.
But Batista hits the Batista bomb, but Bryan kicks out, and honestly, it wasn't really a fast count. And commentary,
it was not at all a fast count.
Like, what are you doing, man?
Like, maybe the narrative is that like he even has like rebelled against the Authority. Like the Authority has shown their ass, and he's like, actually, I think the yes movement is cool. So it could be something like that, but I don't know how textual that actually.
Daniel Bryan kicks Scott Armstrong in the face, takes him out, and then Daniel Bryan does a suicide dive onto Triple H, Scott Armstrong, and Stephanie McMahon at once.
That was sick as fuck.
That Triple H, you done touched my wife, and so
my wife, famous wife guy Triple H.
He gets his sledgehammer. They saved it, They didn't bring out the sledgehammer in the first match.
No, they did not.
So because we had to get it later. But then Daniel intercepts the sledgehammer and he takes it and he hits Triple H with his own sledgehammer.
Dude, that was such a great fucking moment of like what the symbolism here of fucking using Triple H's own weapon against him. Again, like the way Daniel Bryan in storyline has played the game, as it were, is brilliant.
It was one of watching this portion of the match. Bryan is now effectively taken out the Authorities. Triple H and Stephanie get escorted to the back and don't come back. In that moment, in that mindset of like, oh my God, what if WWE screwed Daniel one more time? I did kind of think about like, WWE could make an argument that Daniel Bryan got his narrative satisfaction here as he pretty definitively beat the Authority tonight, Triple H and Stephanie.
But
so, maybe
was this a concern?
What if we let that be the win?
Was this a concern back in 2014? Because I feel like the outcome was pretty obvious, right? Like if they once they
should be, but I don't think 2014 WWE fans were like, and we can trust WWE to always make the most logical and to hit the logical endpoint.
That's wild.
I think we were all too cynical about it.
I literally had the thought of watching. I was like, sometimes I'll give AEW shit, quote unquote, for like kind of predictable match outcomes, but it doesn't need to be like unpredictable to be good. And I had the thought of because here everyone in the building had to have known that at this point this is what they were going for.
I mean, it was obviously the logical point, but
yeah. But you all were so jaded.
We were all too jaded to just think this is it. This is it.
Honestly, that's kind of a brilliant addition to the meta narrative in and of itself.
Yeah, you want to believe that surely if they're going to put him in the main, that means he's going to win, right? But yeah. I want to remind us that in the future, kind of future narrative here, in the 2015 Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan goes in the Rumble and everyone's like, oh my God, that means he's going to win, right? And then not only is he eliminated in the middle of the match, they time it perfectly so that Daniel Bryan is sitting dejected on the ramp when Goldust music hits to come out and the Shattered Dreams video pops over Daniel Bryan's head.
No fucking way.
So we couldn't trust WWE to follow through on Daniel Bryan.
That's Vince absolutely giving a fucking double bird to everybody for making him change his plans.
The 2015 Royal Rumble is the most spiteful booking WWE has done in a hot minute. We should.
Oh yeah, isn't that Roman?
That's the one where Roman wins and The Rock comes out and everybody boos The Rock instead.
Yup. Oh my God.
The whole Rumble is booked so spitefully. It's worth a watch on this show, honestly.
Man, maybe conspiracy theory time. Maybe the reason Roman Reigns got pushed so hard to the moon is because Vince was mad that the audience pushed him to actually booking Daniel Bryan well for a little bit, and so this is him being like, fuck you! No matter how much you complain, I'm never changing my plans again!
Yeah, but, so point is, we were all jaded enough to at least, think, but what if, though? Surely they wouldn't do all this for Daniel Bryan to not win. But that's part, in the back of our minds, though, we were always thinking, though, but what if?
But what if? That's fucking wild. That must have been a crazy feeling. Daniel Bryan's bandaging gets torn up.
Orton. They start while Orton and Batista are starting to unbandage Bryan's shoulder and take him to town. We are getting the na 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 hey goodbye to the Authority.
Yeah, that was. I did notice that. Yeah, because they're being escorted out. That was great.
Orton and Batista, I think we can say they are definitively in cahoots. We are cahootsin'.
Yes, they are temporarily unified in the goal of murderizing the fuck out of Daniel Bryan.
So Orton and Batista cleaning off the announce table. Batista hits Bryan in the face with a monitor. CM Punk chants start.
Yeah, okay. I was the only one that heard that.
Oof.
What the fuck?
So it begins a long 7-year arc of whenever we hate booking, whenever we're mad about whatever's in front of us, we just start chanting CM Punk.
And it's 7 years. Wait, 7 years? Are you kidding me?
That was the rebellious fuck you chant till at least AEW started, and then arguably all the smarkiest WWE fans just went to go watch AEW. But definitely it died for forever when Punk came back. But while Punk was gone, the I hate this booking, fuck WWE chant was CM Punk. CM Punk.
CM Punk. That's incredible. Holy shit. I will say while Batista is like clearing off the commentary desk, we do get a great shot from like behind the commentary desk, which we normally don't get when like this spot is happening, this kind of spot is happening, where like the way Batista seizes on like the WrestleMania plate on top of the desk, like the impact is like felt and heard. That was a great little shot. But yeah, so between the both English and Spanish commentary announce desks, they Batista standing on the English announce desk, Batista standing Batista standing on the English commentary desk, Orton is standing on the Spanish commentary desk to the left of it. Batista grabs Daniel Bryan, picks him up into a Batista bomb, which then Randy Orton follows through into an RKO.
Well, he tries.
Well, okay.
He tries.
I thought it looked sick. I thought it looked sick.
I mean, it's a sick idea, and the WWE video games will put a fixed version of that move in every game after this happens. But
wait, like just like a Batista bomb into an RKO?
Yeah, they mocap that double team move, and it's
really
in the game, and it's just part of the games now.
That's wild.
But yeah, But the one time they do it in real life, Orton misses the jump a little bit. He very clearly never grabs Daniel for the RKO. But
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's rough. But they go through the announce table. The medical personnel comes to check on Bryan while Batista keeps beating down on Orton. And they put Daniel Bryan on the stretcher. Yeah.
Okay, was it just me, or like did it seem like Batista was playing this like he was almost a little conflicted about what just happened? Was that did you notice that?
I didn't see that. So I don't know.
Okay. He looked like shell-shocked or something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, so Orton eventually hits Batista. They're on the apron, and Orton hits Batista with a fucking DDT to the floor, face first.
Orton. He hit the vintage Orton to the floor.
That's the vintage Orton, the face first DDT. Got it.
Yeah, that's the one where Michael Cole, without a doubt, without fail, is always like vintage Orton. So
yes. But yes, back up the ramp. He's alive!
He's getting off the stretcher. He's fighting the EMTs. He's got the power of the people on his side. He doesn't need medical attention.
Yeah. Wasn't Pentagon Jr. busy doing the exact same shit fucking over in Lucha Underground around this time? Wasn't that like part of his match with Vampiro or whatever?
Yeah, get off the stretchers, fighting. Bryan is trying to crawl to the ring. Orton sees him and tosses him into the ring steps, and then he throws him back.
I just gotta say, but Orton here is basking in the crowd's utter
I wrote this note. Orton taking his sweet ass time to soak in the Daniel Bryan chance before hitting that RKO. I'm sure that won't backfire.
He's such a fucking good villain. Holy shit.
But he eventually goes for the RKO. It is blocked. Daniel gets in the yes lock. Batista jumps in to save the match. Bryan puts Batista in the yes lock, and Orton breaks it up.
Yep. Orton manages to beat Batista into the corner, but goes for the RKO with Batista fucking just like brute force countering it. Like he just pushes him off. He's just like, nope.
Batista goes for the spear. Orton jumps. Batista spears Daniel Bryan. RKO to Batista. Kick out.
2 count.
And then that means Orton is going to that place. And he's thinking of going for the punt.
The punt?
Move. Yeah, it's the move where he punt kicks you square in the head.
Oh my god! I just thought he was going for another RKO.
No, he's going for the punt. That used to be his move when he was like a more sadistic heel in the 2009, 2010. They got rid of the move. I think because of concerns of him actually making contact. And now it's become like Orton's super move. Like I'm desperate. I gotta Like, it's the idea is like
it's over 9,000.
It's like he will win with this move if he gets it. But
Yeah.
he tries it so rarely. But he's going for the punt. And then Daniel Bryan, out of nowhere, knee to the face. You're done.
Yeah. You're fucking out.
Batista tosses Bryan out of the ring and tries to pin Orton off of it. Orton kicks out. Batista hits the Batista bomb on Orton. Psycho knee to Batista. We're getting in the yes lock. Michael Cole is yelling, tap out Batista. Tap out Batista. Tap out Batista. One of Michael Cole's better calls.
Michael Cole was like fucking ravenous by the end of this.
And then
incredible.
Batista taps out. Daniel Bryan has won.
Actually Daniel Bryan defeating ultimately the original plan meant to screw him out of everything he deserved. In one of the rare moments, the champion losing the fucking match without being involved in the pin. And new. And holy
as Michael Cole puts it, the miracle on Bourbon Street.
Yup. It was incredible moment. I did have to pause the celebration to note a random ass fucking vote Quincy sign in the crowd for some reason, like from The Simpsons. Don't know why that was there, but they put the hand over that in the crowd. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess,
Daniel Bryan celebrating with the belt. He gets on the announce table with the belt as pyro shoots off. Confetti's raining down.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan signals for a young girl and her mom to get in the ring and hug him. That was neat. And I looked it up. That is Daniel Bryan's sister and niece.
Oh, I thought that was like his daughters or something. Okay.
Nope, that's his sister and his niece.
That's adorable.
And we get a shot of Connor McCallick, which we haven't talked about that, but I want to bring it up. Here is basically Connor McCallick. Was a pediatric cancer patient. I'm gonna have to take a look up again what it was. His cancer was. It was medulloblastoma.
Okay.
So, and he was a big WWE fan, and there was a big social media campaign for him to meet Daniel Bryan because that was his favorite wrestler, and WWE managed to put that together, and him and Bryan, basically he became like a big fan favorite among like the locker room because they just love this kid, and he got front row seats to the show, and tragically he passed away only a few weeks after WrestleMania 8. He passed away at the age of 8 from spinal and brain cancer. And after this, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon named the Connor's Cure charity in his honor for WWE. It becomes WWE's honestly their biggest charity initiative going forward is a Connor's Cure, which is for pediatric cancer research, and it's named after Connor. So it's like it was this really sweet moment to getting to see him, for him to see Daniel Bryan win. It was I don't really know a way to transition out.
No, that's just really sweet. I adore that. But yeah, that was cute. I
loved it on commentary. On commentary, JBL was like, I guess I do believe in miracles. Yeah, eat shit, buddy.
Yeah, he even JBL had to like cop to how awesome this moment was. I fucking maybe this is just me. Honestly, like in totality, the match felt like weirdly short. Maybe I was wrong. It felt like it was only like a 15 or something.
Let me look. I don't know how long was the match. It definitely. I don't know. The whole energy of the show it went 24 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad then.
Yeah, I mean,
but
the whole
yeah,
energy of the show felt a little weird after the streak was broken.
yeah, that's fair.
But
But either way, this was a tremendous moment that kind of
mhm,
painted over that a little bit.
yeah,
Confetti shoots off. It's not even Daniel Bryan colored confetti.
it's the
It's
New
fucking
Orleans purple and
it's the New
orange, or
Orleans
purple and
WrestleMania
yellow.
30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
purple and yellow color
Again,
scheme.
another little touch. I don't know how intentional it was, but it's almost like the Authority wasn't expecting the Daniel Bryan wins. They're just like, generic confetti, for whoever.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool nonetheless. But oh my god, kind of like the opposite of what I was saying about the Undertaker streak break earlier is like, even though I knew the punchline going in, that's the whole point of this arc. Like, actually watching it transpire was magical. It felt for a
Mhm,
moment like I was there watching it happen for the first time.
mhm.
And it just felt so earned. This is the fans winning in the best possible way.
Yep.
And what a sweet moment. It's especially with a company like WWE, like where sometimes the bookers don't love to listen. I mean, that it's like that in all companies, but some companies are a little more fan servicey than others. WWE can be very much not that. So like actually seeing this moment that for a while this company was determined to not let happen actually transpire, knowing everything that went into it, and then with the incredible on-screen narrative that unfolded, unfucking paralleled.
Amazing. And so WrestleMania 30, hell of a show.
Yes.
Watching through it, there's really no, I mean, besides the Wyatt Cena ending, I don't think there's any real misses on this show for me.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Just fantastic show, up and down. It ages amazingly,
Like a
and
fine wine,
like
absolutely.
a hell of an ending to a hell of a storyline that we
Yes.
followed here.
Oh, so fucking sweet and satisfying.
Uh, this is probably like the highest quality wrestling TV we've watched on this arc. Front
Ye-
all the way through
yeah,
here.
yeah, probably. I mean, Lucha Underground,
Uh,
like, you
that's
mean
its
arc or
own
like show in
category,
general?
really. I
Okay,
meant our
that's
arc
fair.
because Lucha Underground is its own thing on this show.
Yeah, out of the arcs we've covered, this is probably like the best one, unironically.
Mhm.
My personal favorite will probably remain the ladder match for the custody of Dominic, just because.
That was
But
very funny. I had a lot of fun with that arc, but some of it
yeah,
was
but
like, this is so
it was
fucking
dog
goofy.
shit.
This is
It
amazing.
was yeah, it was very like so bad and goofy that it's good.
Yeah.
This was unironically awesome
Yeah.
all
Um,
the fucking way through.
absolutely. Just the journey on a textual level, the journey on a meta level, how
Metatextual
we got
level.
here.
Again,
Like,
I think the best story that WWE in totality, the best story that WWE has ever told.
it's absolutely up there with very few
Yeah,
other storylines in contention.
absolutely.
But now it is time for us to move on. And
Oh,
so
goodness.
David's not looking forward to this one, and he shouldn't, I think.
You've warned me that I'm gonna hate this one and hate you for it. So
I had a lot of ideas. I did. I
okay.
had a lot of ideas of where to take this one. I
Uh-huh.
thought we would do a shorter arc next, but actually, I checked my calendar. We are at because we actually did a shorter arc before we did the long arc. So actually, I decided we don't need to necessarily do a super short arc next.
We can't just go back to the 5. We can't just do 5.
I tried so hard to make this 5, but it wouldn't work with 5. Like,
Son of a bitch.
there's too much that happens. And so,
Son of a
but I had
bitch.
multiple ideas and I needed David's help. And so earlier this week, I asked David, no context, Hulk Hogan or AJ Styles.
And I, of course, because I'm fucking tired of Terry Bollea's horse shit. I was only reminded of that by his hosting at WrestleMania 30, hashtag Silverdome, brother.
Mhm.
I chose, of course, AJ motherfucking Styles. They don't want no.
We'll see how you feel about that.
no.
We'll see how you feel about that choice. Let's reveal what was behind door number 1. Is basically our next arc is a TNA arc.
Oh, okay.
The first on this podcast.
Yeah.
If you had picked Hulk Hogan, and I do want to cover this eventually, we would have covered the second Monday Night Wars. The time when good old Terry and Eric Bischoff took over TNA, moved them to Monday nights to go directly against Raw, and then they got fucking shit canned by Raw.
They got destroyed.
And it would have been a time to discuss in general what TNA looks like under the Hogan-Bischoff regime.
Yes. Oh.
But what you picked instead was AJ Styles. And so instead of 2010, we're going to go to 2012.
Okay.
And so I was thinking to myself, is if I had a nickel for every infamously bad storyline that involved some random non-wrestler woman character.
Oh no.
I'd have that was infamous for being the dog shittiest worst. I'd have two nickels.
Oh no.
We already did one. We did Katie Vick.
We did Katie Vick. She wasn't even a real fucking woman.
Well, you know, we don't need to revisit that arc. We're already done. And so I figured, let's do the other one. It's time for us to do Claire Lynch.
I feel like you've warned me about this one before.
Oh yeah, I should have. This is one of the most infamous TNA stories ever.
Oh no.
This is it. You look at the LOL TNA, top of the list, baby. Claire Lynch.
Do we at least get an actual woman this time and not just a sex doll?
There is a real actress here. They got a real actress for this.
That's something at least.
But are you ready to see way too much Dixie Carter? Well, too bad.
No.
You're getting her anyway. So next time in the modern arc, we're covering Claire Lynch.
Oh, Christ almighty, help me. Oh, no.
Next time on this podcast, though, we are back to 1990.
Okay.
We're on the road to WrestleMania 6. And honestly, this next time we're going to watch an episode of Superstars, and it's like the thing from this feud. A lot of this feud has kind of been lost to time. It seems like it's like they had the thing at the Rumble. Oh, that was so exciting. And then they had a match at Mania.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Hulk Hogan's religious fanaticism or the Ultimate Warrior sacrificing his fans.
Yeah. Ritualistic sacrifice, as you do.
But there is one promo that the Ultimate Warrior cut that everybody remembers from this one.
Oh, God.
And so I had to figure out which episode of Superstars it was.
So we're going to watch an entire ass episode of Superstars just so we can get this promo. You know what? Fair enough.
I mean, that's how that whole arc's been, really. You know,
yeah,
WWF Superstars is very segmented.
Slogging through fucking Superstars just to watch the particular shit. Oh, God.
At least it's only an hour.
Is it? It was fucking 2 last time. Or no,
prime time is 2 hours. Superstars is an hour.
Yay.
That's for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Dear Lord. All right. Yes, sir. Dear friends, thank you all so much for joining us in yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We are so delighted to have you here. First-time listeners, viewers, what have you, thank you all so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever the hell it is you use to consume our content. I think I said first-time listeners. I meant returning listeners. You know the drill. Thank you for having us back once again. You know, we love you guys. We hope you've had a great time, as always. First-time listeners, viewers, what have you. Hey, hi, how's it going? Welcome to the show. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you're brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling or you're a veteran of all the weird bullshit, either way, we are so delighted to have you here. We hope you had a great time with us. We hope you want to keep having a great time with us week after week after week, and I'm going to tell you all the ways you can do so. First and foremost, of course, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. And of course, give us that sweet engagement. Check out all of our playlists. Austin has been kind enough to organize all of the storylines that we follow into their own separate playlists, so you can follow something all the way down without having to skip around a whole hell of a lot. It's great. Hey, you can see our beautiful, wonderful faces and us struggling through the first 2 hours of the back half while Austin's Wi-Fi was being a bitch. It's great. Lots of audio visual lagging to be found, I'm sure. You come for the memes. But of course, if you're more of a fan of the audio-only experience, we have you covered there. You can, of course, find the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on 3 of the best places to find your podcast, which would be, of course, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Come give us a listen there. Download our show, rate our show, review our show. Maybe let some people know these guys are pretty fucking good. Maybe more people should be listening to them. I don't know. I'm just saying. Speaking off the cuff here. All options for tremendous for listening to us on the go, in your home, whatever the hell it is you want. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts for the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. Of course, we exist past this little void that we find ourselves in week after week. You can find us on some places on social media, the broader interwebs. Of course, the primary place to find us is on Twitter at Noobs and Knocks Pod on Twitter. Come check us out there. We do the whole Twitter thing, memes, discourse, generally hating the IWC as you do. We put up a post every single time we drop a brand new episode, so you guys always know what the hell is going on. Of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting. That's on a slight hiatus right now because I'm currently in rehearsals for a musical that I will be indisposed every single Wednesday until the middle of October. Whoops-a-doodle. But when we have the time anyway, at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS, we are watching and tweeting about AEW Dynamite. And then on top of that, when I have the time, on Friday nights and Saturday nights, we are, the filthy AEW loyalist of this dynamic duo, will sometimes sit back and tweet about on Friday nights at 10 p.m. on TNT, AEW Rampage. It is the show that y'all been waiting on. And at 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday nights at on TNT. Yes, is AEW Collision. Jesus Christ. It's been a hot minute since I've done these plugs, all right? Give me a break.
Yeah.
Yes. AEW Collision Saturday night is all right for fighting.
And to be clear, only Saturday nights are all right for fighting. As certain
no other
have
night
learned in AEW, Sunday afternoons are not all right for fighting.
Terrible time for fighting. True. Many people are saying this. Many such cases. Yes. So all of that I will tweet about. On top of that, Austin is a big old knockout, as someone might want to name a podcast after that or something. And he likes to keep up with all of the major companies a little bit and their pay-per-views. Sometimes they even tweet about them. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Holy shit. I am weeks behind on Impact, and honestly, I haven't watched AEW this week either. So you know what? I'm in a great position to talk about things.
Yes.
But let's go forward here. AEW has the next pay-per-view in the line. On October the 1st is AEW Wrestle Dream.
Yes.
The whole gimmick is that it will be honoring Antonio Inoki.
Yes.
It will be the 1-year anniversary of his passing.
Oh.
Tony Khan called him wrestling's greatest dreamer, Antonio Inoki. So, will we have New Japan guys? Probably not. New Japan has a show that day.
Oh,
and
shit.
They have a lot of guys booked already. So, what will that mean? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's October the 1st. You can get that on traditional pay-per-view. Bleacher Report if you're in America, Fight TV if you're international or international. For WWE, upcoming for them is Fastlane on October the 7th. This is so weird because I'm so used to Fastlane being the pay-per-view between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. They're on the Fastlane on the road to WrestleMania. What are they doing now?
Yes.
They're on the fast lane to the Road to Survivor Series. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't work. How dare they? If you want to watch WWE on a weekly basis, Raw is on USA Network at 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights, and SmackDown is on 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Obviously, way too early to have matches, but October the 7th, live on Peacock. Now, for Impact Wrestling, they do a lot of monthly shows. First of all, if you want to watch Impact Wrestling on a weekly basis, you can do so Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on Access TV, or for $1 a month YouTube subscription, you can watch Impact live on YouTube starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays, commercial free. Now, Impact also has their own streaming service, Impact Plus. We'll be hearing a lot more about that streaming service when we do Claire Lynch. And normally they do monthly shows, monthly B-level pay-per-views specials on Impact Plus. But upcoming next for them is Bound for Glory, the biggest pay-per-view of the year for Impact on an annual basis. And it will be taking place on October 21st. So far, it's so far away, we don't even have a Wikipedia page for it yet. But that is what's upcoming.
Hell yeah. Yeah, be sure to check all of that out. First of all, over on the Twitter, if you like listening to us ramble about wrestling for, God knows however long this fucking episode's going to be, for some ungodly reason, you'll enjoy it over on the Twitter. The voices carry over. We are our full authentic selves. We're having a great time. But also, especially for the noobs of our audience, we like to tell you guys all about what the hell's going on there, all across the world of wrestling, because there is so much on offer. We focus on kind of the American companies just because that's what we have the best access to, but there is so much on offer, and we like to kind of put the palette out there for people who are kind of exploring this wonderful art form to figure out what exactly they enjoy and what appeals to them. Pay-per-views especially are a great time for hopping on. Storylines are wrapping up, new storylines are beginning. You're guaranteed to get some like incredible fucking matches pretty much every time. It's just a good goddamn time. So yeah, check all of that out at Noobs and Knockouts Pod on Twitter. Of course, if you want to get in more direct and long-form contact with us, you can do so via our email address. We have an email address, noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word, and knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us. Tell us what you think about the show. Request things you want to see us cover on the show. Tell us how either based or cringed our takes are. Just start discourse, start a conversation. We love people saying hi. We would love to say hi back. noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. And of course, finally, you can also find the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on Patreon. The link for that is in our Twitter. $1 a month, just a single little bone dollary due every month, gives you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out, as always, to friend of the show, the Sugar Daddy, Kyle Smith, for his generous and steadfast contribution. We love you, buddy. We hope you enjoy your perks. If you want to enjoy your perks along with our boy, Kyle, be sure to do so. Even just a single $1 a month supports us immensely, even just, on an emotional level over here at the podcast. And we are so very, happy to take your money, as it were. No, seriously, check it out if you want to support us. Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. The link for that is in our Twitter.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.